give an opening address, let me walk you through some distancing measures. Now, the first one is for our physical participants here with us in the auditorium. Do keep your mask on at all times unless you're drinking water. Do remain at your seats also, which has been distanced already. Also, please note that all food and drinks are to be consumed outside this auditorium, and please please, if you're a non-NUS visitor, please refrain from entering the NUS canteen as well. Now, thirdly, please be reminded that mask-on photography is allowed, but restricted to a maximum of 5 packs in a photo. So do be careful when you're taking team photos later. So of course, maintain safe distancing in your photos as well, especially when you upload to socials. Now, during lunchtime, please refrain from intermingling with other groups and stick to consuming the meals with your teams at the designated marked out tables at level 1 outside during the lunchtime later. And be reminded to throw the trash at the designated trash bags provided by the team. And also at the end of the event, use the entrance that you are assigned. So don't go to the entrance. The entrance are at the back, the 2 doors at the back and over here on your right side. So do leave from the same entrance as well. Now, before we get started, I wanted to say a big thank you for our supporting partners, Stellar, Bybit, Ripple, and NUS Fintech Lab. Now, without further ado, can I now invite our faculty advisor, Prof. Keith Carter, to give a welcome address. Professor, please. Mic test. Okay.
Thank you. 大家好，新年快乐，步步高升. And I'm so happy for us to be able to start off right here at Chinese New Year with a NUS Fintech Society Hackathon. And this is a culmination of so much work by the Fintech Society students. I'm really proud of all that they've been doing. And I'm so glad to see and hear that we have NTU here as well. Anyone from NTU, just raise your hand there. There we go. SMU as well, fantastic. And of course, the NUS folks and people that are here on Zoom as well. This is about collaboration, connection. FinTech is not something you can do on your own. So with that, welcome, all the best. And let me just give a big thanks to James, Kinmun, Layun, of course, David, Aditya, Colin, and all the rest of the FinTech Society students that have put this together. Let's give them a round of applause for the hard work that's been done throughout this. Okay, and with that, I'll turn it back over.
Thank you. Now, I would also like to invite Mr. Ignace Terranis from the Head of Communications of Bybit to say a few words. Ignace, please.
Thank you, Vanessa. I see we are color coordinated. Yeah, very happy to be here this morning. I really love how well this event has been put together. We're thrilled to support NUS Fintech Month and as well as this hackathon. Like, this is what we think matters most. You know, young minds, you know, looking at emergent technology and working on it. You know, this is really exciting, and we are just so happy to be in support of it, and we look forward to all the fruitful results that will come out of this event, and hopefully in a couple of months or couple of years, everyone will be hearing about the exciting innovations and new discoveries you guys are making. So I think everyone deserves a round of applause, but we're really happy to be here and happy to see all the results. Thank you.
Thank you, Ignace. Now, I don't know what made you guys spend your last 15 days working so hard for this hackathon, because I was just trying to keep up with school, honestly. So I really applaud the spirit over here. Now, so you have all spent a grueling 15 days since the ideation stage, which started on 15th of January. And now 10 teams have emerged among 100+ teams to be here with us on stage to present your prototype. So amazing job thus far. Now, this year's theme for this hackathon is all about next generation decentralized applications, such as DeFi, wallets, cross-chain applications, or even introducing decentralized technologies to different industries. Now, today's problem statement of the hackathon is NFTs mid-market or monetize. Non-fungible tokens is one of the most exciting innovations in blockchain scene. I've been reading up about it and I can't wait to see all the pictures later as well. Now, we were wondering today, are you guys able to further break the boundaries of the world of NFTs with so much innovation happening in this space right now? Now, the objective of this hackathon is to promote the development of the world's blockchains, hoping to motivate students like yourself to explore and push ideas to their fullest potential and also inspire your fellow schoolmates in school to explore the space as well. Now, I'd like to introduce our judges for today. We have 5 distinguished guests who will be our judges for the pitches. First up, we have Mr. Jason Liu, product lead of Bybit. We also have Mr. Bill Singh, head of financial products of Bybit. Mr. Cook Stokes, sales director, APAC Singapore of Ripple. Mr. Bernard Janowski, director, customer and partner success of APAC in Ripple. And we also have our faculty, Professor Keith Carter, Associate Professor, NUS School of Computing and Director of NUS Fintech Lab. Now, here's the exciting part for today, the prizes. Okay, so today the 10 finalists teams will present their solutions to a panel of judges here today with us, and they will be deliberating on the top 3 teams. Okay, the second runner-up team will be receiving $5,000, amazing stuff. First runner-up, $10,000, and the champion team, $15,000. How amazing is that? And hopefully I'll find you for a treat later for dinner. There will also be 8 additional prizes up for grabs worth $2,500 each. And the different categories include Most Creative Award, Easy Domain Application, the application for Bybit, Best Business Case, Judges Award, Public Favorite, BitDAO Worthy, and Best Code Design. Now, the finalists will present their prototype, and shortly after the presentation, there will be a short Q&A. So it's about 8 minutes and 5 minutes, respectively. While some of the teams are here with us in the auditorium, we also have teams presenting on screen via Zoom today as well. So we'll conclude all the presentations at around 12:30 p.m., where we will all break for lunch with bento provided for all of you. And then we'll resume at 2 p.m. to announce the winners for the demo day. Now, of course, without further ado, we're gonna kickstart the pitches with 8 minutes of pitch time, 5 minutes of Q&A from the judges. The microphones are with you as well. So without further ado, let's start with the first team from NTU, Super Idol. Oh, NUS, NTU, and SMU, amazing collaboration. Super Idol, please. For the subsequent teams, do ensure that your computers are ready to screen share for Zoom later so that our online audience can follow with you as well. So do prepare that before you step on stage. Thank you. Apologies for the delay for our online and physical audience. I think this hybrid model is something new for us. We're still trying to figure it out. So give us a couple of moments. Thanks for your patience.
Good morning, distinguished judges, guests of honor, and fellow finalists. I'm Tony, and we are from Team Super Idol. With me are my teammates, Haris, Mio, and my two other teammates, Tun Hao and Luin, who will be joining us online. Before I start our presentation, let me share some background information about how our idea came about. A few months ago, after my grandfather passed, many of my extended relatives were unable to come back to Singapore to pay their respects, be it due to various travel restrictions or other personal issues. After his funeral, we were put in a tough spot to decide whether to bury him at a Chinese cemetery or to cremate his remains and place them in a columbarium. It was well known that his wishes was to be buried in a Chinese cemetery. However, Singapore's restrictions made it so that burials in cemeteries can only be up to 15 years. We made a tough decision to go with his wishes and bury him in a Chinese cemetery. However, the thought that his remains will be exhumed within the next 15 years will be forever stuck in our heads. This is the issue that gave rise to the idea that we have come up with today, memory. As time goes by, nothing in the physical world stays permanent. Instead of having a physical space in columbariums and cemeteries to remember your loved ones, memory will allow you to be able to mint an NFT of your loved ones to keep your memories of them on the blockchain forever. We wanted an NFT that will have an emotional connection with the owner and something that can be affordable for everyone. NFTs in the digital market exist for the purpose of buying and selling luxury goods. However, this reaches out to a small target audience in the world. Our team recognized this issue, and we aim to reach out to a bigger audience in the market. Our team will provide a platform where the customer will be able to customize an NFT that will either be in the form of a portrait of the deceased, a tombstone, or image representing their loved ones. I'll pass the time on to Haris to go through the process of minting our NFT.
Thank you, Tony. Once again, my name is Haris, and today I'll give you a simple walkthrough through our webpage. So when the user clicks our webpage, this will be the home screen that they will look at. Then they will click on packages. Sorry, give you a moment, it's loading. They'll click on packages to see the 3 packages that are available for them. So the first package is package A, which includes 1 memory NFT along with 40 white roses and 10 gold roses. The purpose of these roses are for other users to pay respect to the owner of the NFT. The second package will be package B, which is a more expensive package, but includes 80 white roses and 20 gold roses. Last but not least, package C is a high-end package, which includes 240 white roses and 60 gold roses. So let's say our user wants to choose package A. He or she will be brought to this web page where he or she will be able to choose between portrait, a tombstone, or a customizable NFT of their choice. So now let's say our user will want to choose a portrait. the user will be brought to this page, which is the authentication page. Here, the user will provide the deceased first and last name and upload the deceased death certificate over here. Then they'll enter any personalization that they want to do for the image. Last but not least, they will drag and drop the image that they want to be minted as an NFT. Finally, once the authentication has been done, you will be brought to this page where your NFT will be over there, and other users will be able to buy the white roses and gold roses as a sign of respect. With that, I will pass the time on to Mil to talk about the processes and the computing process.
All right, so now I'll be briefly explaining the process of making our NFT, which will be a ERC721 token. And we'll be mainly referencing the Open Zeppelin library, and we'll be using Truffle.js and Solidity. And we tested our smart contracts on Ganache and testnet. So constructing our main memory NFT and rose NFT, a remembrance token to honor those who have passed, has really generic basic functions of ERC721 tokens, such as mintable ownership, URI storage. But inheriting the ERC721 URI storage from this OpenZep, one key thing we added to our smart contract was this award item function, which was inspired from game NFTs. So these game NFT tokens have features, items, weapons have their own attributes, and thus our roses will be inspired from this. So before doing this, we'll use the IPFS pinata to pin and add our images, and our smart contract can refer back to them. So looking at the roses, when we look at these rows and we take a closer look, we'll see that the border of the roses are encoded with binaries. So these binary codes will be the date of death and a remembrance note to honor the loved ones. So this will be, let's say a person has bought this white rose to honor the date of their loved ones. So if they want to type a message, it will be, I'll miss you, and it will be included in the metadata of the smart contract. And then it will be encoded at the side of the white rose. So after everything, we test this on our local Ganache blockchain and everything works. Then we finally test it on the Robston testnet and finally make our white rose memory and the memory, the main parent token here. So this is our final product of the NFTs here. So as you can see, the metadata descriptions, the suit and question mark, that will be our main NFT, which the owner will mint, and then the white rose where people will pay respect. So now I'll be passing on my time to my teammate Tony.
Previously, we have mentioned that the use of memory NFT will be able to save space in graveyards and cemeteries, using memory as an alternative for such places of remembrance. As the world becomes increasingly progressive and more things are becoming digitalized, the idea of a virtual token of remembrance would likely be welcomed. Additionally, with the increasing popularity of the metaverse, families and loved ones who are separated may come together on the metaverse to pay respects to their loved ones. To end off, I'd like to reiterate the point why we started this idea in the first place. We wanted to improve the NFT space so that more people could find use in NFTs besides the current use of just collecting and selling luxury art. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Super Idol. I think this is so interesting to connect a very legacy element to your NFT projects. So now I'll hand my time over to the judges for 5 minutes of Q&A. Judges, please.
So are you talking about the white rose?
The rows with the binary
Yes.
around it and the date.
So the dates will just be the day that the loved one has passed on. Both the top and the bottom will be the day that they have left us. Thank you.
I guess I'll ask another question. What is it that makes your product unique so that, or something that will prevent people from just going ahead and maybe a funeral service providing the same type of thing? Or like, who are your key customers in this case?
Let me address your questions. For the first part, the key customers, I feel that we are addressing a whole new market. As of now, like there are no such, from what I know, I don't think there are any virtual virtual services for like funerals as such provided. So our target will be anyone who seeks for our service. Sorry, could you repeat the first part of the question again?
The second is, well, like, how do you prevent the funeral parlor from just copying this idea and running with it when they already have like the base and the brand?
As of now, we do not have any like prevention for like other people to copy us, but I hope that our product will have the first mover advantage to capture more of the market share when we first introduce our product to the public.
I'll let the other judges say something, but I would just give advice. Try to collaborate with the funeral parlor because they have already the connection and know what's happening and so forth. Make them your friends and maybe even that is your key customer versus individuals.
Yes, thank you.
Hi. Just one question. Okay, I think for the first question, I have two questions. Okay. So the first is, why would you put the message in the metadata instead of on the NFT? My second question is, if somebody passes away, what are some of the issues or pain points that they would face? Would you consider, because you got to go through the whole like NFT process, right? So there will be costs associated with it. I was just wondering if if you could maybe get a lot of inflow of funds to, let's say, from an NFT. Could that be channeled to like somehow the bereaved family? Can you give some input on that?
So I'll be addressing the first part of your question, which why we put it in the metadata instead of like putting it on the blockchain itself. Because what we were thinking is that, let's say you have a message for the loved one, and maybe in the future you may want to add on it may be like a journal or something that we could update, and we could do this with the item award function in our ERC721 tokens, because it is not imprinted on the blockchain itself and it's outside the metadata. So we could always update the URI and change the metadata because it's not on the blockchain itself. So that's why we went with the approach of not imprinting on the blockchain itself, but outside the blockchain itself for the message. But for the message imprinted on the picture, it will stay the same. But the message outside will be able to change. So second part.
So to address the second part of the question, there are indeed some like societal barriers that we need to cross in order for this to work, because not many people will be like willing to just do this because it's something out of the box. Secondly, when you talk about the money portion, it is one important part that we did not mention because we had a lack of time. The roses that have been bought for the deceased, the proceeds will go to the family that mint the token itself.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. One more question.
I just got one more question.
just one more question. Just want to hear how would you define the benefit to society and the community on this versus traditional flowers, and what do you think that is in your words?
I'll address the question that you have asked. Firstly, yes, when I closed, I've talked about how we can save space on graveyards and also cemeteries. These are places that require a lot of land. And as you know, the land price in Singapore is very expensive and it only keep going up. So using NFTs having a digital space as a token of remembrance will allow people to keep their memories of their loved ones on the blockchain as such. And this will be better than, we hope this will be better than normal traditional funeral services, as people who are not currently with us right now, like our family members who are overseas, are also able to join us. Thank you so much.
I think that's all the time we have for this groups of Q&A. Thank you so much.
Right,
But we
thank you.
also have one judge, Mr. Bernard Janowski from Ripple on Zoom as well. But we don't have time for your team Q&A anymore. But subsequently, I think we'll leave some time for our judge online as well. Now, thank you so much. Now, the next thing I would like to introduce is North Hill Institute from NTU. North Hill Institute, please.
Good afternoon, judges. My name is Advait, and I'm from North Hill Institute, joined by my friends Somesh and Sumit here, and Ayushma and Rhythm are joining us on Zoom. So the revolutionary idea that we've come up with today is a gamified NFT marketplace driven for mass user adoption. And without further ado, let's get into it. So with NFT Crib, we're going to venture out and build your crib. So when we were studying the market, we found some three pertinent issues. The first being poor user experience, because current marketplaces are too transaction focused and there are not enough fiat on-ramps for easy onboarding of traditional users, which results in an overall plain and boring boring experience for most people. Second is the lack of incentive. Marketplaces today don't really incentivize listing of NFTs. And if users don't list NFTs, an internal economy cannot be created, in turn stunting the overall user growth. And the last issue is high gas fees. As we all know, gas fees on Ethereum are currently very high, and this makes users think twice before they do anything at all, which results in profits being eroded for marketplaces. So based on these issues, we derived some key insights, which Sumit will be sharing about.
Thank you, Adwait. So to solve these issues, we have developed two key insights. Firstly, we must gamify. More specifically, we need to introduce the element of fun and interactiveness amongst the users, which will be woven into the interface of the marketplace. This is necessary because it gives the reason for users a reason to come back and trade with each other. Second is that we need to increase accessibility. This can be done by deploying on a layer 2 solution, such as on the Polygon mainnet, which will reduce the fees and increase transaction fees especially considering that this would be a high volume marketplace. So with that, we have developed NFT Crypt, the game. It consists of 3 elements. Firstly, the quest. This is where users can list their NFTs and earn mining or farming token, which could be used to beautify their crypts or boost their NFTs. Second is the friends. This is a social element in our game where users can build a community, and this would in turn increase user retention and drive marketability and profitability. And lastly, the marketplace itself. So some of the key features of the marketplace is that it has low gas fees and it allows for bridging to and from Ethereum. This would incentivize users to list their NFTs. So now I'll be passing on the time to Somesh, who will be sharing more about the technical details.
Thank you, Sumit. Right, I think the first question that everyone will have when looking at our tech stack that we use is that there's no solidity here. Well, that's because we went with Morales, which allows you to build Web3 dApps really easily. And along with that, we use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and use the Phaser game library to build a 2-dimensional gaming fight platform, which allows users to move the NFT in the 2-dimensional space. Along with that, we decided to go with OnRamper as a Fiat on-ramps plugin due to its availability on Morales as an API plugin. Moving on, we'll now be showing you a demo of how our NFT marketplace works. So we'll just launch our NFT gamified version of our NFT marketplace on a local host. As you can see, load with 2 options, allowing you to log in with your MetaMask as well as buying crypto via Fiat on-ramps. So when you log in on MetaMask, you can see it's already integrated with our Web3 wallet. So upon signing the transaction, we can see that our NFT will be loaded on the screen, which will allow you to move forward. It will allow you to move in all 4 directions, as well as you can move it to wherever you want to place it in your crypt. So moving forward, we'll probably be including different types of NFTs as well, such as furniture or whatever NFTs that are available on our marketplace, which allow user to beautify their crypt. So when you press the buy crypto button, for example, it allows users to actually buy any sort of cryptocurrency that they want to spend on our marketplace or anywhere for that matter. So let's say you want to buy Ethereum for this matter, and we press buy ETH in the form of, for example, for $400. And it'll provide you with a list of sellers and it'll choose the best one for you with regards to the rate. So when you scroll down, you can press continue. And what's amazing about this is that you'll be able to import your address directly from your MetaMask wallet, meaning that when you pay, the Ethereum will go directly to your wallet, and then you can proceed on to buy whatever NFTs that you want to buy. Moving on, I'll be passing my time over to Advet, who'll be covering our other aspect of our marketplace.
Thank you, Somesh. So what we're going to present to you is the version of the game that we aspire to create. What we have here is a very simple illustration, and we really believe in keeping it simple for users to easily use our solution. So let's wait a while as my teammates get the prototype online. But what I want to emphasize is that we believe that gamifying the experience is the step forward to introduce NFTs to new users. So as you can see, on this sign-in screen, all you have to do is click sign in and your MetaMask wallet will be connected. You will be able to see your friend's crypt, your own crypt. And if you want to visit your friends, all you have to do is select it from the menu and you can see it here. Now you might notice this friend's crypt is much richer and he has more coins. And where do you get more coins? You can do it by listing your NFTs, which will allow you to earn mining tokens and increase the number of coins you have. So where do you get the NFTs in the first place, right? So all you have to do is click list your NFT and you'll be brought to a rather conventional looking marketplace. But the reason for this is for us to keep it as intuitive as possible. Yep, all you have to do is connect your MetaMask and then you can scroll through the list of NFTs we have. So let's say you want to build your crypt. Let's buy the crypt builder. And it's a very simple process. It's very familiar for users as well. All you need to do is make an offer and you'll be able to buy the NFT of your choice. Now, I'll be passing on my time to Somesh to wrap up the presentation.
All right, thank you, Advet, for the demonstration. So now to wrap things up, let's take a look at what we've covered thus far. So we decided to go with solving the problems of mint, marketing, and monetizing by improving the poor user experience that we currently see, the lack of incentive in terms of not having a monetary incentive for users to trade on the marketplace, and the rather high gas fees on the Ethereum mainnet. And our strategy was a 2-pronged approach, which was to gamify the entire NFT experience, as well as lower the barriers to entry by implementing a fiat on-ramp system to easily allow users to onboard onto our platform. And through this 2-pronged approach, We believe that this will increase mass adoption and hence increase our user base. Thank you for your time, and now open the floor to questions.
Thank you, North Hill Institute. Now we'll begin our 5 minutes Q&A by the judges.
Can I go first this time?
I have a question here. So how do you solve the high gas fee problem in this project?
We decided to go with the Polygon mainnet for the current prototype, but moving forward, we'll probably go with ZK Sync because of its availability to bridge NFTs to and from Ethereum. So this will also increase user adoption as well, because a lot of NFTs are currently being traded on OpenSea on the Ethereum mainnet. So we believe the implementation of ZK Sync in the future will allow users to easily go to and from our marketplace as well. Yep.
Okay, maybe now I'll hand my time over to Mr. Janowski.
Thank you. Am I audible? Can you guys hear? 1, 2, 3. Can you guys hear me?
Okay, I think now it should work.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Great. I just wanted to ask and understand about the on-ramp problem that you brought up in the beginning of the presentation. How would you address the fiat on-ramp issue over here? Is that through this single plugin, or is there any other solution? That's my first question. The second question is, are you planning to somehow attract let's say, reputable artists to create NFTs on your platform? Or is it mainly like created by the users?
All right, thank you for that question. So I think I'll take the first part of it. So I think one way which we solved the NFT, the on-ramps problem clearly was through the use of an API plugin on Moralis known as OnRamper, right? And I think it's important to note that the fiat on-ramp solution is a very tricky one to implement due to the increasing regulations that are coming to play, right, in terms of AML compliance and whatnot. So it will be, for now, it will be slightly tricky to predict what's going to happen in the future and what other solutions you can implement. But what I can say for now is that there are available options such as OnRamper, which will allow dApp builders to actually implement the solution and increase user growth. So I think I'd like to take the second part.
Okay, I'll take the second part of the question. With regards to attracting artists to our marketplace, the objective of our game is to allow users to easily enter NFTs. And this would mean that they can buy and list any NFTs that they want. So it may not necessarily be art, but we can look into partnering with artists because 8-bit design and such kinds of NFTs would be very appropriate for our game. But we're not limiting it to that. They can really display whatever they want in our game.
Thank you.
What's your model? How do you plan to defend against competitors? How do you monetize?
All right, thank you for the question. I think it's that's a really good question. But obviously it comes down to how we market ourselves, right? In terms of enabling users to know that there's another aspect to the whole idea of NFT trading. It's not just about buying and selling on the market and whatnot. It's about actually designing an entire metaverse of sorts in terms of your crypt. And there's also the social aspect of things, right? So when you buy an NFT, you can actually sort of show it off to your friends by putting it on your crib, designing it however you want. And at the core of it, it comes down to how we actually push our ideas. So I would put it down to marketing in a sense, because you can see that various NFT marketplaces like LooksRare just recently came about from nowhere, right? So I think that's something that we'll probably be focusing on if you want to push the idea forward. Yeah.
So what's your business model?
Our business model will probably be at the start to take a look at how user growth is for the start. And then moving forward, we'll see whether user retention is high enough for us to continue with the idea of implementing a gamified system, and whether it's makes sense to implement a token or not. So that's probably what we'll be going forward. Yep.
How do you make money?
We'll probably be making money through the use of royalties, as current NFT marketplaces are doing right now. So that's something we'll be looking at as well as potential room for collaborations as well as advertising on our platform.
Thanks.
I think we have time for maybe one more question if there is. Okay, I think we're good. Thank you so much, North Hill
Thank you.
Institute.
Thank you.
Awesome. Great presentation. Now, can I invite the next team, Sam Brock to jail from NUS? Please be welcome on stage.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good morning, everyone. We are Team Send Brock to Jail, and today we'll be presenting our solution for the FinTech Blockchain Hackathon. So I am Zheng Xuan, and with me today are Kun Hian and Samuel. Yep. Our other two teammates who are with us on Zoom are Yan and Jing Tian. So the problem we have chosen to tackle in our solution is the monetization of NFTs, basically making the buying and selling of NFTs more accessible to everyone. Okay, so before I move on with our presentation, I would like to invite you to visualize a scenario with me. So how often do you hear people saying, I want to start investing, but then I'm afraid that I'll lose all my money? Yeah, I'm sure you've heard this from people around you, or this might even be you yourself. And often we hear advice such as, just put your money into an ETF. Well, don't quote me on this because I'm not a financial advisor, but then this is forms the basis of our solution. So we intend to create a platform to allow the buying and selling of ETF-like NFTs, which we will now term as ET NFTs. So how this works is that the creator of the NFTs will launch his collection of NFTs, and then he will fractionalize the NFTs into 11 parts. So the first part is 90% of the NFTs, and the subsequent 10 parts is just 1% of the remaining NFT. And this 1% will go towards the ET NFT. So in owning a slice of the ET NFT, I'm actually owning 1% of every NFT that is in the collection. Of course, if you are still interested in owning majority of the NFT, you will be able to own 90% of the NFT. Of course, these numbers are just for demonstration purposes. In reality, the fractions may be a lot smaller to allow more people to enter the marketplace. So next, I'll pass my time to Samuel, who will take you through our prototype.
Hi, my name is Samuel, and I will now demonstrate the current state of our project. And later, Kun Hian will demonstrate the end goal, which we have in mind for SB2J using Figma. So for our current platform, we have used TypeScript and nDesign to do up the platform for the fractionalizing of NFTs. Currently, our website is ran on localhost, and this is how our website currently is. So firstly, we'll connect the wallet using Phantom wallet here. So let me just connect. And from the top right corner, we can see that the wallet has successfully connected. Okay, moving on. So this is how a website will look like. So this is describing of how our idea is through the use of ET NFTs. And then below we have the possible ET NFTs in the marketplace. So let's say I'm interested in the overflowing blue ETF. And I will be directed to the page of the ETF, and below I can see all the possible NFTs. So for this scenario, we have 10 NFTs over here. And let's say I'm interested to purchase the Squiggle NFT, the 90%. And I can see here, I can click on it, and then you'll be shown that this is not owned. Can make an offer created. I can see who's created by, I can see the price of it. And let's say I'm not really interested in this. I can just click the back button and I'll be redirected to the NFT page. Let's just say I want to purchase the overflowing blue this time. So we can see that it's created by Johnny, currency of 1 Ethereum, and is currently the 90% part is owned by Brock Ang. So let's say we make an offer of 2 Ethereum. And after Brock Ang accepts the price change and everything, let's say the current price increased to 0.11. This is a very important part I'd like to draw attention to, because we can see that currently the price of the overflowing blue NFT changed to 2, whereas the current price of the ETF only increased by 0.01. As compared to the NFT, it only increased by 1%, as compared to the NFT increasing by 100%. So this could be the other way around, where if the NFT price falls, the ETF price doesn't fall as drastically as the NFT itself. So this brings in the idea of stability and links back to the idea of ETFs at the end of the day. So for this part, if I were to purchase an ETF, so I'll just click buy now, there'll be a pop-up prompting me. And then at the end of the day, click OK to proceed to purchase. And we can see that the vacancy fell from 3 to 2 for the possible number of ETFs available. Okay, this is the end of the demonstration. I'll pass the time to Kun Hien to talk about the Figma and wrap up the presentation.
Okay, hi everyone. So this is our SB2J's prototype Figma. And this is what our team has envisioned our platform to be like in the future. So aside from those functions that Samuel has mentioned earlier, we also have several new functions that we have yet to implement. So they are mainly a featured page whereby top ETF owners are displayed as shown here, and also a featured NFT section where top transacted NFTs will be shown. And finally, we'll be able to view the ETNFTs owner's profile as shown here. As shown here, where all of their ETNFTs can be seen. So these features are our upcoming features to further enhance our user experience on our platform. So now I will be summing this presentation up by discussing the benefits and limitations of our ETNFTs. So there are mainly two important benefits of ETNFT. Firstly, it is able to diversify a buyer's portfolio of NFTs easily, mitigating potential risk since users now will have to pay for the full sum of an NFT just to own it, which they might not know if the NFT's prices will rise or crash. So lastly, for benefits, we'll be able to lower the barriers to entry into this NFT market. So as everyone here that has experiences in the NFT market knows that recently NFT prices are ridiculously high. And a normal person like me couldn't possibly fork out such a large sum of money, right? So with the help of ETNFTs, we'll be able to only purchase a portion of either ETNFTs or NFTs that cost significantly lesser than owning 100% of it. So this will also potentially increase the number of players in the market. So moving on to limitations. There are, however, several limitations to our idea. So firstly, unlike traditional NFTs that can be listed alone, our ETNFTs requires us to launch multiple NFTs from different sources at once in a collection. So despite its potential benefits, this might pose some inconvenience to our potential users. And lastly, because there are significantly increase in number of transactions for a fraction of its previously traded value, an increase in gas fees will be inevitable. That means for each transaction done, there will be more gas fees involved. And finally, we have come to the end of our presentation and we'll now open the floor to questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam Brock to Jill. Now we'll move on to 5 minutes of Q&A from the judges. Anyone on the floor physically with me first?
I have so many questions. Okay, first of all, fantastic presentation, UI and everything, previous good as well. So first question is, how do you distribute rights ownership?
I think for this, it's like a shared thing, because for example, I purchased the ETF, so technically I'm owning the 1% of the NFT only. So maybe that's the only portion that I'm owning. So could be like a agreement with the 90% of the owner that at the end of the day, whether can I present this NFT as my own.
To add on to what Samuel said, we'll be using this platform called fractionalize.art, which is a platform that specifically fractionalizes NFTs. And after you fractionalize the NFT, I'm sure that the different fractions of the NFT will have their own serial number tag to it. So it's kind of unique in that sense. Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm the owner of this ET NFT, what do I see? How can I be aware of how much I'm making, P&L and all that? Yeah.
For this P&L, at the end of the day, we haven't implemented this, but it was an idea discussed that we can see the graph changes of the NFT over time when we click on the NFT page. We view all the possible NFTs, then we can see how it changes, because similarly how from what I know from my knowledge, how NFT work is that the prices change according to how people bid for it. So if just now currently when I showed how I bidded the overflowing blue for 2 Ethereum, the price of the NFT will increase 0.01 Ethereum. So I think eventually over time, with more people purchasing in, the price of the ET NFT will increase, and then that's how I view my P&L at the end of the day.
So what happens to the original like NFT? So if let's say I have one NFT and then I chop it into like 10 pieces, in terms of like, if let's say some of the other owners, they lose their keys, they no longer have access, will the entire NFT or the ET NFT be invalid just because one or few owners lose their keys or what? Yeah.
I think the most important player for each NFT will be the owner who of the 90%. So if because you will not be able to make a bid on the ET NFT once the vacancies are out. So the price changes are subjected to the 90% ownership of each NFT within the collection. So if let's say the owner of the 90% loses access to this, then he will not be able to accept the bid. Then he will not be able to cause the price change in the ET NFT.
Okay, thanks.
Anyway, I also liked your presentation, but what's your financial model for the person who buys into this? Like, where is that in your presentation? How would you explain that? Because I don't understand it yet. Like, I put something in and something happens. Just give a little bit more description as to what happens, why I would put money into this, why would I be involved? It's not clear.
Okay, so as a public user and I want to enter the NFT space, right? So as mentioned, the NFT prices are like very high right now. And then maybe as someone who is just starting out to enter the NFT space, I might not know a lot about the current market. So this might be a good opportunity because if I'm very interested in the collection, but I do not have enough to own one entire NFT within the collection, I can just buy into the ET NFT. So it lowers the barriers to entry in terms of cost because I only need to fork out the 0.11 instead of the 2 Ethereum.
So you're saying I can own some of the Bored Ape Yacht Club stuff, but in a fractional ownership. So someone takes their NFT that costs $30,000. They say, okay, I'm going to kind of share fractional ownership of this with people. And then if they sell it, I get some proportion of the profit or something?
So this fractionalization starts at the moment when it is launched as a collection. So they cannot just suddenly decide that they want to fractionalize the NFT if it was not launched as a ET NFT.
The start is normally the lowest value, right? Like 0.18 or something like this. So it's when it gets the 10x, 20x that then there's demand to want to be part of it, and maybe some idea that it could go even higher, right? So you're kind of selling the ownership at the time when it's least interesting or least known about. Or if it's at the cheapest, I would just go in and buy it myself at that point. Because if it's already 0.1, which is about $300, what are we going to share? $30 and share that with a bunch of people?
So even if it's $300, I'm sure it's not, if you are planning to buy multiple NFTs, it's not a small sum either. So by using our idea, it kinds of help you put eggs in different baskets so you can get a more variety of NFTs, but with the same amount of money. Yeah.
One last question is just, so now new NFTs are allowing you to have access to physical goods like the Adidas or to the metaverse. So how does this match with when you don't own the whole thing, but Adidas is opening the door to an entire experience? How would you have a partial experience, or would you just not get that experience at all?
For this, I think for the partial owners, they should have the experience because technically they own a portion of it. But could be that maybe the Adidas or these who want to like differentiate them, give them slightly different treatment, not entirely, maybe differentiate them, the experience that they have and all of that. Because technically, as an owner, what I'm committing myself to this NFT, to this ETF, I want to be part of the experience. So what we want to do is that we want to share this experience with the public, with those that not able to afford the whole thing at the end of the day, but able to afford a portion of it. So it just allows small people to experience this metaverse, this thing that people is providing for at the end of the day.
Sorry, I'll just add on. So in our example, we are only considering about 20 owners, but as the fraction gets smaller and smaller, the number of people owning the fraction of the NFTs will increase. So as someone who wants to give access pass, right, it might be unrealistic because the magnitude of people is just too many. So at this point, the people who gain the access could just be the people who own majority of the NFTs. And yeah, so those who own the small fractions may not have the access to these.
Okay, thank you, Superbrook. To Joe, thank you so much. So next up we have Nom Nom from NUS as well. So please come on up on stage. Okay, take it away.
Nom nom on food, nom nom with friends. Good morning, everyone. We are Team Nom Nom. I'm Joanna, and with me here today are my teammates Runlin and Biao Yi. So we'll be presenting to you our next generation blockchain-powered online food marketplace. So this holds menus from various restaurants all over the world. So basically, what is Nom Nom trying to solve? Currently, it is difficult to give food or voucher items to friends or family. You would have to plan and find time to meet up physically to hand it to them or visit them at their homes, which requires you knowing their physical address. Furthermore, current food delivery or purchasing platforms charge high merchant commission rates, up to a high 30%. So that is why we have come up with Nom Nom, a blockchain-powered online food marketplace, which allows easy gifting of food and voucher NFTs to friends and family. So with decentralized storage, blockchains are more durable compared to centralized servers like AWS. Moreover, the security of the blockchain helps secure financial transactions made on Nom Nom. This app is targeted to young adults between 20 to 40 years of age who are interested in blockchain technologies and NFTs. Nom Nom will be tackling this market subcategory. Without further ado, let us move into the demo for Nom Nom. All of our apps are deployed onto the web via Vessel, and smart contracts are deployed onto the Ringby testnet.
Okay, so for this demo, we will have Bob, who is starting a new restaurant called Bob's Fried Chicken. So let us register the restaurant onto the Nom Nom app. Next, we will sign in to the supplier side app. So let's give some time for Bob to sign in. Okay, so for Nom Nom, right, there's actually two different types of app. We have the supplier side app and the consumer side app. And for the supplier side app, it's for restaurants to actually add their food items, add their menu, for them to host their menus. And then on the consumer side app, it's actually used for the consumer to buy the food NFTs. Yeah. You just give us a few moments to register. So as you can see, our app is deployed. So if you would like to actually test it out, it's available. Yeah. Okay, so now the sign up is successful and we are signing in to the Nom Nom app. Okay, so with his restaurant, which is newly registered, Bob wants to increase the visibility of his restaurant. And he does this by purchasing a booster NFT. So as you can see, the boosters come in different tiers: bronze, silver, and gold. These boosters help promote restaurants by placing them higher up in the customer's Discover page. We will see the Discover page later on. So excited to promote his restaurant, Bob will purchase a booster NFT. So here we have the MetaMask pop-up to prompt the transaction approval. Yeah. Okay, so similarly, Bob can also list restaurant vouchers for sale. And while the metadata is currently stored on MongoDB for the prototype, we do intend to store the NFT data on IPFS in the future. And that wraps up the features for the supplier application. So now let us move on to the consumer side application. So here we have Jane, a hungry customer. She signs into the NomNom app in search for food. And upon successful sign-in, she is greeted with many restaurants. So boosted restaurants like Bob's Fried Chicken, as you can see, that we registered earlier, is now on the top. Yes, okay, so now let us purchase a food NFT. Judges, would you like to help Jane make a choice? How about Prof. Keith? Which restaurant from here would you like to purchase from? The ramen, okay. Okay, good choice. So what would you like to eat today? Is there
Gyoza.
Gyoza? Okay, gyoza. Okay, so that sounds really good. Now Jane will make the selection and a MetaMask pop-up would appear for us to confirm the transaction. So during this process, the metadata for the food is retrieved from MongoDB, and the smart contract then mints the food NFT and then transfer it to Jane's wallet. The details of the food item, such as the ownership and the price of the food, will be written directly into the NFT. Yes, okay, so once the transaction is done, we can visit the My NomNoms page. Okay, so this is where all of Jane's NFT will be displayed. And we will see that the food item that we purchased just now, the gyoza, has actually appeared. Yeah. So apart from just, okay, wait, sorry. Jane can also redeem the food item by visiting the physical restaurant. So during this redemption, the token will be burned as she has exchanged the digital ownership of the food for an actual physical item. Yes. So now here's the transaction. Okay, then apart from just buying NFTs for herself, Jane can also gift NFTs to her friends. So opening the Friends tab, this allows Jane to actually add new friends or view her current friends. So wallet addresses of friends are accessible within our app, allowing a no-hassle, one-click gifting. These buying and gifting transactions will be tracked, and once a minimal level of transaction has taken place, Jane will be awarded with an NFT with our tiered loyalty program. So when the transaction is complete, the NFT will actually appear in our friends list, and that wraps up the demo for the consumer side application.
Okay, let us now look at some of NomNom's future plans. In the future, we plan to make the onboarding of new users super simple. This is a sample workflow which only involves 3 simple steps. First, Alice logins with a crypto wallet. Secondly, she can scan a QR code to top up her account via PayNow. Thirdly, the app will receive her SGD and issue her the corresponding crypto coin. For example, USDC. Next, we can also expand to the metaverse, which already have many existing collabs with large corporations. For example, Uniqlo partnered with Minecraft and H&M with Animal Crossing. There are also some other of the top brands that are involved in the metaverse. So I believe one familiar name will be Adidas, which has started investing in the NFT space. So let us look at the value of digital goods on the metaverse. So this is Heart Grace, a digital avatar created by the Roblox X Zara Larson collab. This digital avatar started at a price of $2 and quickly skyrocketed to around $94. This shows that digital goods can be very valuable. So how does this relate to NomNom? NomNom can actually allow its partners to jump into the metaverse via its loyalty card NFT. So this loyalty card NFT can provide users with several benefits. This includes VIP access to a virtual storefront, the issue of special avatars, and as well as special airdrops. So in conclusion, NomNom is a convenient and secure food marketplace for both suppliers and consumers alike. Suppliers-wise, NomNom provides a platform for restaurants to host menus and gain exposure at a minimal cost. On the consumer side, restaurants are made accessible all over the world using one single crypto wallet. And this deals away with the hassle of exchanging physical currency when you travel. Join us, Nom Nom on food, Nom Nom with friends. Thank you.
Thank you. You're making me hungry already. Okay, I think now we'll invite our online judge for Q&A.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Great. So a couple questions. Maybe first one, what do you think would prevent Grab from launching a similar type of service today without, doing the whole thing through NFTs and blockchain? They already have platform, they already have users. How would your solution compete with such solution if Grab was to launch that today?
Actually, we don't really intend to compete with Grab. We are looking at the idea of more like working with them since they already have the wide network and wide market. So if we don't have any measures in place to prevent people from copying our app, but we would like to work with existing partners.
Okay, so you are more looking at maybe going after the B2B market, like offering your solution as a white label to other platforms, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, thank you.
You said your app is deployed. How can I try it out now?
We actually have a link for this. We can share it.
Maybe we can share it on the chat.
Yeah, maybe you can move on to the next question while the team shares the link so you can try it out after the pitch.
Fantastic presentation. I was formerly head of product at Choke. Now I'm in crypto. So this is like, kind of like a mix of both worlds, So I have several questions. So one is first for the merchant, right? What does the purchasing of the package or plan gets the restaurants and how does that come to you? Yeah. What was the NFT utility for in that use case?
That's a good question. In this case, we actually wanted to introduce the concept of NFT to the general public. So in this case, we wanted to, use the security of NFT and the decentralized storage to, kind of introduce this technology. And in this case, there's no difference between ERC-721 and ERC-20. So I think you might actually wonder why do we use NFT instead of ERC-20? So that's actually a very good question. But in this case, our app is mainly focused on NFT. That's why for this prototype, we actually chose to use NFT. But I think ERC-20 might be a better choice in this case. Yeah, but just for this prototype, it's ERC-721.
So it's a lot of work to just eat a bowl of ramen or some gyoza, right? Yeah. So like, why food, right? Like, why not like handmade items or like rare collectible items? Why food?
Because right now, I don't think there's an existing solution that uses food. Of course, this idea can also be expanded to other goods, but I believe that Singaporeans like food a lot, so we choose to target the food market first.
Okay, thanks.
I think we got time for one more question if there's any.
So why do you want to mint the order into an NFT? Like, what's the benefit of doing that?
Okay, so for example, right now restaurants they store their orders on like centralized database, right? So if we use NFT, right, it makes use of the blockchain technology, like it's basically stays in the blockchain forever, and the storage is durable, so you will never lose your data. Because restaurant servers, if you host it on like AWS, they can get hacked, they can be outages. But if you use a blockchain network, in history, there isn't really any scenario where the entire blockchain network is down. Or at least the popular blockchain networks like Ethereum or Bitcoin.
Is this just a project for you, or is it something you would want to take live?
It's actually currently a project for us, but maybe we can see how it goes.
Maybe if you say that you're taking this live, you might put some money with you. So you might want to reconsider your answer next time. Thank you so much, Nom Nom. Okay, thank you. The next team is awesome. Thank you. Okay, so now you know the next 6 team, right? Say it's live. Maybe this is where you can begin your fundraising journey. So next team we have Team DeFi's from NUS. So welcome up on stage.
Very useful. Actually, another angle to keep customer loyalty. Exactly. Good job.
That's All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Colin here from Team DeFi, and together with me from my team, we have David and Adi here. So before I start off, actually, I'm just really curious. How many of you all have not flown out of Singapore for the past 1 year? Just a quick show of hands. For the past 1 year. Right, majority of us, including myself. And I'm sure we all miss that whole adventure, the whole suspense of traveling overseas, the culture, the history. And personally, for myself, actually, I remembered going to London in 2018, and I went to the British Museum. And I vividly remember seeing so many artifact items. I saw this Vincent van Gogh sunflower painting. I saw the Rosetta Stones. I saw the tombs, the mummies, and it all captivated me. Because these items, these collections are unique and they share a story. And so this got our group thinking, how can cultural institutions share the story? Now, in particular, if we look at museums today.
Oh my gosh, this is so heavy. Artifact is from Hungary and it's priced, I can't drop it. Oh no. Oh shit.
Yikes, David. So you can see it is complex to set up a museum and exhibition. It is costly, it is inconvenient. You have to move all these around. Next thing is museums actually have a rather more conservative culture because the whole idea of digitalizing collections is new and there isn't a platform available yet. And thirdly, as mentioned, museums, they're all affected by COVID, and that's why there's a fall in museum attendance of up to 78%. So after identifying all these problems, we're actually really excited to introduce to you a Muse, the museum experience which provides museum tours at your fingertips. We will focus on this subcategory called market, and if you look at the ecosystem, museums, they go virtual, they deploy the tour contract, which interacts with the collection of artifact NFTs that has text, image, and audio data. Now, collectors will whitelist them. They'll come on board, tokenize their historical artifact, mint it as an NFT, rent it to our collection. They earn passive income from there. And of course, visitors hop in and hop off anytime, anywhere you want, as long as you pay your museum entrance fees, which is in the Muse tokens. So now David will take us through the house of Muse.
All right, thank you, Colin. So good morning, everyone. Today we're going through the live demo of our prototype Muse, and it's deployed live on the Rickety testnet. All right, so I'll be going through 2 user journeys today. First one would be the whitelisted user, such as a museum or a collector, and second would be a visitor. So let me just start off with the museum. So let me just connect my wallet right here. As you can see right now, I'm on the NFT renting and listing platform. You can see I have an NFT collection over here and my rented NFTs. So let me just go ahead and mint a new NFT. It's as simple as that. So just type in the name, the description, select the tour that I want to mint my NFT for, which in this case will be the Qing Dynasty tour, followed by uploading the images. In this case would be, let's say, this bars over here. All right. Select the certificate of authenticity. And afterwards, the audio. Okay, so that's right. Just click the checkboxes right here and click mint. Okay, it's really that simple. The MetaMask notification will pop up and we can go ahead and click confirm. So while it's minting, let me just explain what happens on the back end right now. Okay, so we are currently in this red box right here. As a collector and museum, I'm minting my NFT in relation to the tour. As you see just now, whatever I've uploaded is actually components of the NFT. It's a certificate of authenticity. We also have the audio, the image, as well as the descriptions. And all of these are actually serialized into the metadata JSON that is stored on the IPFS. All right, let me just head back over here and give it a refresh. It should pop up my new NFT, collect my, oh my gosh, my wallet. And you can see it deployed live over here. Yep, all right, it's there. So let me just go ahead and rent out my NFT. Pretty simple, eh? Just click the test, click the Qing Dynasty tour, enter my name is David, by the way, and check box here and click rent. Very simple as that. We get the MetaMask notification right here, and we just have to click confirm. All right, so while it's being rented, let me just share what goes on behind as well. So as you see in this red box right here, as a whitelisted user, I'm renting my NFT to the custody smart contract which holds all my NFT. And I'll be receiving the payouts from the user that is paying their entrance fee to access these museum tours. And I'll be receiving as fees. So you might ask, what is actually the amount of money that I can earn from this? All right, so it's just basically the number of NFTs that I've rented divided by the total NFTs in that tour. And it's as simple as that. And all of these are actually redeemable at the end of the tour. All right, so let me go ahead and share the visitor's point of view. So right now, I'll go to the museum tours. You can see over here the museums that we have. Let me just go in this one. Buy ticket. Usually you will want to swap your E for Muse, or in this case, USDC, whatever. But let me just go ahead and enter the museum. I've already done that. So just click enter museum right here. You can wait for the MetaMask, okay, and click confirm. It will be pretty instant. You can see it's redirecting me right now. And there you have it. Just now I just rented my NFT, rented it, and it's over here, all right. So let me just go ahead and click on Stone Tablet Rain Buddha over here. As you can see, this is like all intricate details about it. I can even
Stone Tablet Winged Buddha. Though traces of prehistory.
Okay, I just pause it. Okay. So as a visitor, what can I do? Other than experience, we can also have a souvenir. So this leverages on the social aspect of what we want to have when you visit to a museum tour. So I can click in my name, how was my experience, and generate a dynamic postcard, and I can download it and share it to my friends. You can see I'm clicking the download button right now, and it's going into my app. Okay, you can see that right there. So if I change my name over here to David, you can even see that it changes my name over here, visit as well to David as well. All right, so let me just head back over to the souvenir and just end the tour. This is only for demo purposes, so it's not in production. So I'll just confirm. And while it's being closing the tour, let me just share a little bit more about the what has happened just now. As you can see on the transactions over here, everything is deployed live, and you can see like I've minted, I've swapped my tokens, and I've even transferred my NFTs to the custody smart contract. And all of these are happening live in real time just now. So, okay, I've returned back to the main screen, go to renting listing platform. You can see that everything is over here. I returned my test over here. And you can see also I received some money in my MetaMask wallet over here as well. All right, that concludes the live demo. Back to you, Colin.
All right, thanks, David. So we have effectively created a model to incentivize collectors to contribute to our collection, and they earn the rental income. At the same time as visitors, you can just come on board anytime, anywhere. Now, we believe this is a massive opportunity for institutions, for companies or brands who has a collection. They want to create a digital story to engage with us, to educate us and empower us about the shared piece of history. Now, looking down our roadmap, what we have here is this. First, we'll concentrate on improving the entire museum experience, and that is tours. We want a more curated story because that's, after all, what history is about. Next, we set up a DAO. The DAO is to encourage museums to come on board because we want to encourage the shared ownership of historical artifacts. Next is Metaverse. We have to be part of that entire bandwagon because it's so trendy right now. Having our historical artifacts in-game gives it more utility and a better interactive experience. And of course, finally, as mentioned, this is a model that's entirely replicable for institutions who want to share a brand story. So with that, we hope that you will join our story and let's make history together. Thank you so much for listening.
Awesome. Thank you. Now I'll open the floor to the questions. Any question online first?
Question. So your plan is to connect collectors with museums and the visitors, right? Is the initial idea more to allow presenting those NFTs in physical form, like on a screen in a museum itself, or are you gonna go straight after, like, you know, virtual museum kind of approach?
We will have definitely it's a virtual museum. That's the entire concept of this.
Okay.
But how we see it is this actually, because it's virtual, that means it's accessible anywhere. And what happens is a publicity effort for any museum in another part of the world, for example. When you fly there, at least you know what's going on. And if you are really so intrigued, you'll want to visit it. So it's a good business extension as well for physical museums. It's complementary. Yeah.
Understood. There's a very interesting exhibition now at the Singapore Art Museum. So I would, you know, encourage you to take a look at it and see if, you know, you can come up with any ideas around that.
Great, thank you.
Question here. So why should this be an NFT? Why not just a subscription-based model with a museum? You could do the same profit sharing, right? With just a paid subscription versus creating this into an NFT.
Yeah, very good question. So why actually collateralize it into a NFT? So as you know, NFTs are unique. They also share a story similar to our culture as well in these artifacts. All these artifacts represent a part of history and it's unique. And we want to store it on the blockchain as well. Not only that, like there are a lot of different problems that goes around with these with these artifacts. For example, as you've seen just now, it's easy to break. I'm transporting when I want to set up my museums. And also, we can also think about it in, let's say, theft, for example. It prevents all of this, and that's why we think like, okay, since it's also a online museum and it can be stored on an NFT, so it also represents the sense of ownership of a collector who's collecting this, or in this case, also a museum as well. So that's why NFT, and why not a SaaS model if in that case? Colin, you want to take that, the SaaS model? Oh, okay. Okay, so for the SaaS model, why not get like we'll call it like a platform as a service. We can onboard these museums and we're providing them the ability to be able to come on board, create their tours as and when they like, also to be able to represent their museum to be on this platform as well. So as what Colin said just now, it's a marketing kind of a way to market their business as well. So it's very complementary to the business model of a traditional museum. And if let's say, for example, the visitors like what they see, they can just go ahead and even fly to their country if COVID restrictions allow. So yeah, thank you very much.
Do you have one more question from the floor? Okay, I think we're good. Great presentation. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, time check now is 10:40 a.m. Some of you might need a toilet break, so we'll take a 10 minutes break right now, and I'll see you back here again at 10:50 a.m. So of course, do leave and use the bathroom from the respective exits that you have entered from, and I'll see you back there at 10:50 a.m. in 10 minutes time. So if you're a non-NUS student, please be advised to avoid going into the NUS canteen. If you do need help to get any drinks, I'm pretty sure the NUS students here are more than happy to assist.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Yeah, first slide. Yeah,
Go to the first slide.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Follow you out.
Fast forward to 18, we are more than lovers. Yeah, we are all we need when we're holding each other. I'm taken back to 2002. Dancing on the hood in the middle of the woods on an old Mustang, where we sang songs with all our childhood friends. And it went like this.
We're getting something to drink. You want anything? Yeah. Okay.
you run the like digital face. Okay, yeah.
Along with
there's a way. Yeah, I should. You go to the Zoom. You open this screen. Yeah, then you share the screen. You share this. Yeah.
Check 1, 2, test 1, 2.
Okay, I know.
I have the thing coming up.
So HDMI, you don't have to check set of. Just this one. Yeah, just this. You need a converter.
Zoom share screen.
Yeah, okay, share your screen. So you rather do it because we got animation. Someone is hard to coordinate. So it's okay. I think just share screen. Okay, yeah, share screen. I think presenter view you can't do that. Only audience they can do. Otherwise you have a separate computer. Like that guy. You need a but there's a small guy. Okay, so I can't see. So it's quite big. Go to the center, yeah, they ask to do just stay inside each other. I think it's this one. Okay, it's on again. So, okay, yeah.
Check 1, 2, test 1, 2. Okay.
Yeah, I tried. Oh.
You screen from Zoom. Are you guys logged in on Zoom already? Yeah, so before your pitch, right, you go into the Zoom room and you screen share for your own laptop. Yeah, before you guys come up.
Hi everyone, thanks for coming back so punctually, but there's some issues outside with the convenience store. This is where technology fails you and people are struggling to get their drinks. So let's give it another few more minutes for everyone to get their drinks and to come back in about a few minutes time. Thank you for your patience.
11 yeah, then booked up. I also have to register, scan my mom 2 times, OTP.
Oh, you did before?
Never, I stayed at KR last time. I don't know, man. Then the judges are like, then they wanted to come in, the doors are still empty. And there's no water, you know, there's no water left, only vitamin water.
Oh, that's
crazy.
Because we thought it's time we have the photo for the judges.
Oh.
Yeah, so we put the online judge in the center so we can get them to say.
You tell him already?
I haven't yet, but the request for photo. So
As in,
before
you tell
we
the
haven't yet.
okay.
Yeah.
So okay, later when he comes back.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I have some
yeah, that's why our
yeah. No, generally I think the concept around it, final details. So we'll be starting the next round of 5 pitches in a few minutes time. But right now we're just waiting for Mr. Janowski to join us back online, and then we'll take a group photo with all the judges in front. When he comes back online, I'll see you guys, and then we can start the next round of pitches. Just a gentle reminder for the upcoming 5 teams, do prepare, make sure you're logged into Zoom so that when you come back, when you come on stage, you can start screen sharing immediately and you can save time. So, okay, I think Mr. Janowski is here. Can I get all the judges up on stage with me to take a group photo? Mr. Liu, Mr. Singh, thank you. I think we'll give it a couple more minutes for the students to prepare if you're presenting soon. Maybe while we're waiting, you want to share your initial thoughts with our students so far?
Many good ideas, like really glad that people are very passionate about exploring the possibility of integrating blockchain technology or Web3 tech. Yeah, fascinating. Like, yeah. By the way, like we are invited, doing this incubation lab as well. If you have ideas or how to code this strategy, reach out to me and like we'll be able to work together. So I have a Twitter account. Yeah, EROUCTBLLY.
propose some advertisement time.
Well, listen, I just. It's really interesting to sort of see the cross between sort of use cases and in idea generation, which we were just talking about during the break. So very excited to see the next 5.
I certainly agree with Curtin. I mean, you guys come in, have real products to show that you go in and try things out. That means a lot. So very good effort, everyone. And again, looking forward to the next 5.
The internet is quite choppy.
Awesome, thank you. I think now we can get ready to take a quick photo with all the judges.
Yeah, but if you want to, I think why don't you have this point?
Right side. Move this. Yeah. Yeah, that's this one. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Middle. Bigger. Don't do a bigger one. Let's do a bigger one. Okay, that's it. Is it too far? Okay.
Thumbs up. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, I think we're ready for the next 5 pitches. Are you guys ready? Okay, let's have a look at the sequence for the next 5 pitches on screen right now. Okay, the next team is Fidalgo from NTU, so you can come on up. Whenever you're ready.
Good morning, judges, friends, and fellow teammates. Today, I'm Jerome, and I'll be sharing with you guys my product with Shinai here. Okay, so before I share with you how do we do what we do, let me share with you why. So, just a little background on myself. I have had 6 years of arts education, and throughout my 6 years of art education, I've seen many instances of copyright fraud and art fraud. And it happened to my friends, my close friends. So there were a few instances whereby, just like here, as you can see, scammers online tries to impersonate the artist himself or herself and takes credit for their work, which they do not own. And as you can see here, art fraud is very prevalent, not just in the normal art world, but also in NFTs. So as you can see here, a collector paid around $300,000 in Ethereum for an NFT from someone claiming to be Banksy. So as you can see here, this issue is very much a pertinent issue, especially since NFTs are gaining traction. So with that in mind, we present to you our solution. So essentially, our solution is a two-step algorithm that is premised upon the decentralized nature of blockchain. So our aim, as you can tell by now, is to prevent the minting of fraudulent art. And as I mentioned previously, because it's premised upon the decentralized nature of blockchain, we are actually employing the use of distributed computing to achieve that. So now I'll pass the time over to my teammate, Shanae.
Yeah, so thank you, Jerome. So now that we've seen how pervasive fraudulent art is in the NFT space, we can now take a look at the consequences of these fraudulent art. So firstly, it contributes to the already non-eco-friendly and ineffective computational process, which further pushes up the gas fees of the platform and further perpetuates the low stakeholder trust within the platform. So firstly, we can see that for each transaction, it takes about 239 kilowatt per hours of energy, which is nearly twice of 100,000 Visa transactions. In addition, with more fraudulent art transacting on the platform, it pushes up the number of transactions and pushes up the requires higher computational power and therefore pushes up the gas fees for the platforms. In addition, it further perpetuates low trust with a sizable number of Americans and Britons who do not trust NFTs. So an example from the industry that is already out there is actually in image software recognition software produced by DeviantArt called DeviantArt Protect. So this is kind of where we gain our idea of fraud algo from. So firstly, it's able to detect similar NFT images on the NFT platform that DeviantArt artists already produce. So once it detects a similar NFT, it will inform the artist of the duplicated artwork, as you can see on the right. Artists are then advised to file a Digital Millennium Copyright Act to take down their fraudulent NFT. So something that we would like to build on today's example by DeviantArt is that we want to integrate our solution with the NFT platforms, because currently DeviantArt's solution is not integrated with the platform and therefore gains a bit of traction when it comes, does not gain any traction when it comes to taking down images quickly before it is minted as fraudulent art. So this is a process of our workflow, which Jerome will describe.
Okay, so as mentioned by Shanae, there's DeviantArt has a image recognition software that detects similar NFT images to artists' artwork. However, because it's not integrated with a current blockchain system, the users have to experience much inconvenience in trying to get back what is rightfully theirs. And therefore, our solution tries to, or rather aims to integrate that with the platform. At current, however, due to software and hardware limitations, we have yet to do that, but it's definitely in the works for the future. So for our solution, the first step is when the user sends in a mint request. And when that happens, it will kickstart a job distribution process whereby the job is fractionalized into multiple parts and distributed across the NFT computer network for processing. What happens next is that the image is sent for style analysis. So what I mean by style analysis, basically we are employing a CNN, a convolutional neural network, to try and detect similarities between an artist's artwork to generate a model of the artist's style. So currently it's still in the works, and we have a prototype that I'll show you later. But eventually our aim is to achieve something that something of the sort of a neural network transfer, but for the purposes of detecting fraud. So after it's sent for style analysis, if it's detected to not have any similarities with current artist styles, it will automatically be sent for tokenization. However, if it's flagged, it will be sent for round 2. It will be sent for another round of image recognition, or rather image comparison. And after which, if it's still flagged, it will be sent, it will kickstart the KYC process, which is also known as the Know Your Customer process. I will explain about it in greater detail later. Okay, so what do I mean by distributed computing? I'm sure many of you here should be aware of this framework called Hadoop. So basically what happens is when a user, or rather an NFT minter, sends in a mint request, what happens next is it will contact the resource manager, who would then distribute the data slices to various cluster nodes. So the cluster nodes I'm talking about here are the various computer nodes of the minters. So what happens next is the MapReduce algorithm would then run to determine what is the most efficient way to distribute the job process. So that will be weighted based off the computer resources available to each computer node and also the network connection. After which, once all the processes have been completed, they would then be aggregated again by the MapReduce algorithm and then send the result back to the server. Okay, so as promised, I would now show a brief glimpse into our proof of concept prototype for the image store comparison.
Give us a second.
Okay, so as you can see here, I've used TensorFlow, and basically we employ a convolutional neural network. We trained a model to try and detect the similarities of an artist's style. And so far we have experienced, I would say, around 60% accuracy with six artworks out of the 10 test artworks we have submitted being detected correctly. Next is our image comparison process. So what we are proposing is to use the SSIM and RMSE metrics and employing the use of image similarities measures library. And as mentioned previously, once both the image has failed both checks, it will kickstart this Know Your Customer process. So what this process, that we're proposing to have is to temporarily store the repository image where the requested image is flagged against for copyright in the KYC space. Thereafter, the minter would have to submit a link to the DeviantArt account to prove their ownership of the artwork. If the link is invalid, meaning the account link does not contain that artwork, the tokenization request would then be rejected.
Yeah, so now we're talking about the USP, the unique selling points of our product, that is that's something that DeviantArt's image software recognition program did not address. So first of all, we have style analysis, distributed computing, and image verification. So this first of all allows integration of our solution with the NFT platform because it aligns with the decentralized nature. In addition, it would reduce costs by reducing high gas fees and energy consumption. And lastly, it would increase stakeholder trust within the platform because we are removing these fraudulent arts before they are even being minted on the platform. And yeah, so that's it for us. Thank you so much. Any questions?
Awesome. I think a lot of the projects here will want to be friends with you so that they can foolproof their platform as well. So I'll open the floor to any questions from the the judges here with me today first.
First question here, what recourse does the artist have if the artwork is rejected or that you're wrong? So correct me if I'm wrong, I think you said it's 60% accuracy? So how does, and potentially some of these, some of the art is very valuable, right? And so how do you manage the consequences of a fail? The artist wants to argue that their style is not the same. How do you manage that?
So we have this know your customer process. So we actually simplified it a bit for the purposes of presentation. But essentially, the know your customer process is an opportunity for the artist to prove his or her ownership of the artwork. And the first line of recourse would definitely be to submit their DeviantArt link. So to link their DeviantArt account with potentially this blockchain platform. So with this, if they are able to prove that, hey, I have this artwork in my ownership, then definitely they will, the platform would then accept that request. However, if that still fails, then most definitely the artist can request for an individual case review, because the whole idea of this algorithm or this workflow is not to remove the human element from the whole process, but rather to minimize it in order to reduce manpower costs. Additionally, the platform also, our Envision platform also leverages on the whole idea of distributed computing, because we believe that it would help to reduce costs on the platform side, because we are leveraging on the computational power of interested parties. And therefore, we believe that those interested parties will then have the vested interest and be willing to subject their computer to such processes.
What's your business model for your company if you're going to make any money? And also, this takes a lot of compute power. So who are you going to collaborate with or work with in order to make this come to life?
So definitely, I would say the startup process of this whole business idea would be the most computationally intensive, because that's where we build our AI models. But as mentioned before, because we are also leveraging on splitting the jobs and sending them off into the NFT network for processing, therefore we are helping to reduce the load on a central server. In fact, we are aiming to remove any links to the central server in accordance with the whole idea of a decentralized network.
So somehow those that offer their compute to you as part of this decentralized network, because they're going to run a process or something that checks for you.
Yes. So our
they would gain what? What would they gain by doing this?
So in the end, right, they will be offered the opportunity to have their own NFT mint requests be processed. So the whole idea is that we are trying to democratize this process of minting, and at the same time, because we are sending it off from the central server to various individual computers for processing, we are also helping to in a way reduce the amount of costs that the platform will have to bear. In terms of business model, I would say that this would be some sort of like a software as a service, because it's definitely a software that I would say that can reduce costs for a business, and therefore I would see it as a viable business strategy.
And last question, one of your competitors is Getty Images. Getty Images helps artists, they sell or produce the art, but then if they actually go and comb along the website to see if the art has been replicated, and then on behalf of the artist go and get a judgment, because when you in the US you take copyrighted work, you get a summary judgment of $800 US per view, per impression. And Singapore has a bilateral agreement on that. So are you familiar with this process? Is it something that you would then work with Getty Images on in another way? I want to hear from all these projects how they would collaborate, yes, in order to make this come to life. You shouldn't just do it on your own.
Most definitely, there would be a competitor if we were to go against them. But as you have rightly pointed out, if we were to open up for collaboration, for example, if let's say a company decides to help take on the lawyering duties, I would say that our platform would try to help them by providing them the necessary information needed, because when a person sends in a mint request, there will be a lot of metadata associated with that request, and we will then turn over that metadata to the company. So our whole idea is, even though we are trying to, sell our software as a service, but ultimately I think it also comes from a place of helping to build this community, especially one that is as new as the NFT.
Thanks, guys. Are you familiar with utility tokens? And if I would ask you to pivot to that, what challenges would you foresee?
Sorry, can I clarify utility token?
Yeah. No, you don't know.
Unfortunately, I don't think we are very familiar with it.
Thanks.
I think that's all the time we have for the Q&A segment for you. Thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Fintech from NUS. So please come on stage. I think you can stop your screen share for the previous one.
As in, must I have audio? Don't need audio. No audio. No. Okay, then you can just continue. So we stop from here. Then you screen share.
So good morning, everyone. We are Team Fintech, and today we'll be presenting to you our web application, FundDeFi, which is a new way for decentralized funding. So over here we have a table of what we're going to present today. Okay, so to start off, we will present the problems. And so currently for the traditional fundraising platforms, one of the problem faced is that there is a lack of transparency. So donors are unable to keep track of or actually view where their funds are transferred to after making a donation. So this kind of creates inertia for people who are interested in supporting NFT projects or a social cause, because they are skeptical about where the funds will be, whether the funds will actually end up in good hands. So another problem that is faced is that there is currently no common platform that aggregates all NFT projects for different social causes. So it's difficult for people who are actually trying to narrow their search to these projects to have a good overview of these NFT projects. So next we'll move on to present our solution. So introducing FundDeFi, which is an NFT-based fundraising platform. So a solution that FundDeFi offers is that it helps to aggregate NFT projects so that users can view all their options in one place. It also brings greater awareness to all NFT projects for a social cause. FundDeFi also helps to promote transparency in transactions because all of their information of the transactions will be stored on the blockchain. So what makes us different is that as compared to OpenSea has a wide variety of projects. However, for users who are interested in
just NFT projects or social cause. FundDeFi helps to narrow their search. And as compared to GoFundMe, FundDeFi allows donors to donate in both cryptocurrencies and fiat. Now I'll hand over my time to Siri.
Hello. Thanks, Jiachen. Now let's move on to the demo. From the home page, users can go to the Discover page to view fundraisers, view NFTs, and also donate in any cryptocurrency. Next, we have the Create Fundraiser page where users can add details such as fundraiser title, description, a few images, as well as the goal amount for fundraising. Next, once the fundraiser is created, users can go and mint NFTs on the Mint NFT page and link it to the fundraiser that they have created. Next, once the fundraiser has started, the fundraisers can view their statistics through some engagement metrics such as impressions, number of clicks, and also the view time. Next. Lastly, for fundraiser tracking and withdrawal, they can easily track the fundraisers by looking at all the different cryptocurrencies in which donors have donated to the fundraiser, and they can seamlessly withdraw. And the conversion will be automatically done by linking it to an external exchange such as Bybit. Next. Now we move on to the tech stack. Currently, our front end is built on React.js, and for backend, we have used Firebase, which includes the password authentication and user management. Next. For future tech stack implementation, we plan to build smart contracts to help in minting the NFTs, improve our backend further, and also use APIs to link with crypto exchanges. Now I'll pass on to Jonah.
Thanks, Siri. Now, let's move on to take a look at issues that FundDeFi has. So, we all know that NFTs are expensive. And if you ever tried minting on OpenSea, you know that it's going to cost you. And high gas fees on the Ethereum chain makes minting and transfer of NFT unfeasible, especially in the context of fundraising. Can you imagine donating $10 and having to pay fees of up to $3? You're essentially donating negative amount of money. This is why certain blockchains with cheaper gas fees will always be more appropriate than others. So for example, Solana has much lower gas fees because of using pure proof of stake consensus mechanism. And as for Ethereum, we might have to wait for 2.0 to come out before we can support it on our platform. Now let's take a look at the next issue, which is on convenience. So earlier we posted about how convenient it is for users to donate money. They can simply donate in any form of cryptocurrency and the conversion will be done on our platform. Now let's take a look at it from the point of view of getting an NFT. So imagine you're just about to make a donation and get your hands on this awesome NFT. And then you realize that the underlying chain of NFT is Solana, but you only have an Ethereum wallet. So you have no choice but to go and create a Solana wallet. Sounds pretty troublesome, right? So the user experience needs to be much more seamless for mainstream adoption. And this is where having a cross-chain for NFTs will help tremendously. Cross-chain, if implemented, will allow NFTs to be transported on different chains and will solve the problem of not having the wallet. And it can actually bring our application closer to mainstream adoption. Now, I'll move on to talking about future features for our FundDeFi platform. So a quick overview is I'll be talking about the verification of projects, different tiers of NFTs, and lastly, DAO tokens. A fundraising platform will need some form of verification so that we can prevent scammers from running rampant. As with any form of monetizing or anything to do with money, there are always bound to be scammers. So we plan to implement some form of KYC, which is know your customer, onto our platform to verify users and ensure that they are responsible fundraisers. Next, different tiers of NFTs is a feature that allows fundraisers to give options, to have the option to give out different types of NFTs based on the donation amount. And fundraisers can encourage their donors to give more and donate more to obtain higher tier of NFTs. And by providing a feature-rich and flexible fundraising structure, we allow the fund users to better thank their users for the support. And lastly, we have Fundify's own DAO tokens. So these tokens can be used as voting rights and to determine the future of our platform, and it's given out to active fund users and donors. This is so that the future of our platform is decided by people who truly care about it. And with that, we've come to the end of the presentation. Thanks everyone for your attention.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Any questions from online, Mr. Janowski first?
Yes, sure. So I just wanted to better understand, is this idea more about aggregation of NFTs from other platforms and displaying it on yours, or are you actually planning to list the NFTs yourself? That's my first question. And the second one is, how do you plan to monetize this, and if you plan to monetize that idea?
So thank you for your question. So I'll answer the first question first, where for the aggregation of NFTs, the fundraisers can actually create the fundraisers on our platform, and they can also mint them on our platform. So it's not taking existing NFT projects from other platforms. I think Jonah can explain the
Right. Yeah. So adding more to the first point, yeah. So it's essentially a combination of what you mentioned in your question, which is both a place for existing projects to get fundraised, and also you can mint new NFTs to fundraise as well. And then regarding a second question on monetizing, there are actually a few ways we can monetize. Firstly, is based on conversion, because we support many different types of cryptocurrencies for donation. We can connect our application to some form of exchange, and then through the exchange, when we convert different type of currency or convert to cash, we can actually collect some form of commission. And secondly, we could do something of like a spotlight view. So like how different marketplaces, you want to get your items, you can sort of like pay for it to be at the top spot. But in this case, we cannot possibly ask fundraisers to pay money for it, right? It seems funny. So one way we could do is maybe just slightly increase the percentage of commission that you can take if they were to one that increases for that. Yep.
Thank you.
Any questions from the floor?
How far away from taking this live are you? And what do you need to do in order to make it live?
Okay, so how far we are away from taking live? I would say what I mentioned on the conversion connecting to the exchange, the one has not been implemented yet. It's just our idea that we envision. And secondly, when we want to, currently we only support very simple features for listing our fund users, as you can see in the demo just now. So definitely more effort is put into that. And another thing is implementation of the actual wallets onto our platform. That one is also not fully implemented yet. And yeah, these are the two areas that we need to be done before we do that.
How long would it take for you to go live?
I would say the nature of these tasks are not very complex. So if we were to really focus on it, we probably can push out a minimum viable product in about 1 month.
Are you going to ask the Bybit guys for help today?
Yeah, definitely. The Bybit exchange will definitely be our exchange platform.
Okay, I think your lunch break will be very productive for you. Awesome, thank you for your presentation. Next group we have, thank you guys. Next group we have Wayne Token from NUS, coming up.
Test. GM everyone, GM, good morning. Pardon me if I sound a bit nervous. I think this is the first time I've been speaking to people, IRL in like 2.5 years. So pardon me. Welcome to our presentation. Our team is One Token, and we're making an application that is aimed at making information in the NFT space a bit more transparent and enable NFT to NFT trading. So talk a little bit about the current problems we see in the space, move on to application, talk a little bit about product roadmap, and we have some time, introduce the team. So problem number one is that there are so many card games out there, so many NFT card games, and there are so many ways for you to play, but there's actually 0 ways for you to trade. So I'm sure you guys have heard of things like Parallel Life, Sorare, as well as Gods Unchained, right? There are so many card games. I bet by the end of this year, or even like, end of this month, there might be like 101 card games, yet there's almost 0 ways to trade. So if you think about it, it's quite funny, right? Like we call them trading card games, but there's no way to trade cards for cards. The next problem we see, right, is that most NFT portfolio valuation tooling make use of floor price as the main indicator. So you have stuff like Zapper, Zerion, DeBank, etc. All of them just tell you what's the value of a portfolio using the floor price of the collection alone. And if you think about it, it doesn't really make sense because it's the same as me saying, right, let's say Van Gogh, he made 2 paintings. One, he made it in 1 hour. The other one, he made it in 1 month. And because the floor price is, let's say, $100, we right now existing tooling will say that both of them are the same pricing. So this is the features of application. Feature number 1 is NFT portfolio valuation. Beyond just using floor price, we want to make use of aggregate statistics on the direction and history of the collection. We also want to provide a cost basis, how much do you purchase the NFT for, and help you calculate the profit you make at a particular price. The second feature is NFT to NFT trading. Of course, we aim for it to be inter-collection, and there are 2 ways you can use it. One is you can list your NFT for trading, or you can make a request to someone else to trade, get the NFT for something of yours. Yeah, I think I've talked enough, so let me just show you, right? Right, so this is our application. It's actually live now. And if you want, yeah, I realize this is going to be a bit disjointed, but just bear with me. So we're going to connect our wallet on MetaMask, and then you can join the beta if you click the join beta button and submit your email, and you'll be updated, for our most recent news. So now onto your portfolio. Let's take a look at portfolio. So we start off, with some general statistics on your current net worth. So what's your aggregate value of all your collections? How many collections you have? How many unique NFTs you have? As well as which collection is the most popular for you, top collection count. And if you scroll down, you'll see collection. In this case, right, instead of just knowing that your One Token collection is worth $50, you know what direction is moving and what's the history of the data. So for this One Token collection, you know what is the daily price and volume. You can see the discrete buy and sells, as well as the number of unique holders over time. And of course, what would a portfolio valuation be without a JPEG library, right? So if you scroll down, you can see all your JPEGs here. And if you scroll down some more, this would be like the second collection. And then you can see how if you have 10 collections, you have 10 different graphs, etc., showing each data on each collection. So now I'm going to try to buy something. Let's go to explore. And I want to say, okay, today I'm feeling a bit lucky. It's Chinese New Year soon. So let's get us a red NFT. Let's try to buy. And click purchase. And MetaMask is going to send you a transaction. Yeah, I guess that's the problem when it's we hacked it together in 3 days, but let's try that again. Nice. Okay, great. So the buy works, and now we can purchase the rate. And right now, you'll see the rate NFT present in your portfolio. And that's pretty much how the buy sort of works. And now we move on to the next part, which is trading NFTs. So let's go back to the explore page. And what if I told you, right, that today in the card market, because it's Chinese New Year, the price for the red NFTs are higher than the others, and we can trade 2 black NFTs for 1 red NFT. So how do we do that? Let's check it out. you go over to the trade button, and do we have any, okay, we don't have black, so maybe black NFT, so let's green NFTs. Okay, great. So over here, this is the confirmation page, and you can take a look and see, is your address correct? What are you trading for what? Whether it's the green, etc. It's all correct. Once you confirm it, you click confirm order, you'll be prompted to sign a transaction. And of course, unfortunately, we're still on Ethereum, so you need to pay some gas. Robson, so you can take a look at our link right now. And here you can see the pending trade. Green NFTs, how to trade it for your green NFT. So now we're going to switch over to the counterparty and how it looks like on the counterparty screen. Yeah, so this is the person that received the trade request. So he can go over to the pending trade request from others, and he can see it over here. And then he can see whether it's favorable or not. In this case, I think it's pretty favorable, right? And then he can click confirm trade. And we once again prompted to sign a MetaMask transaction, pay some gas, and that's it. So what happened is it facilitated an NFT to NFT trade. And I think, probably all of us, in primary school, secondary school, you guys traded cards, right? Go Masters, Yu-Gi-Oh, etc. So it's a bit funny that this function doesn't exist right now, and we are proud to be able to launch this feature today. The last thing we have is we are also able to sell NFTs on our platform. So if you go over to your portfolio, you're able to click sell, and I think the dream, right, is for us to integrate all the NFT marketplaces, OpenSea, Rarible, as well as Looks Rare, right? So eventually that is what we want to have. But for now, we are still using our own NFT listing platform. So you're just going to list your NFT on our explore page. Yep. Okay. Then, Marcus, do you have anything or?
No.
Okay. Go back. Yeah, so this is a product roadmap we have right now. We sort of, hacked it together, obviously, in like 10 to 15 days, and now we're going to work on an MVP version 2. So I'm expecting really great feedback from Q&A later. So how can we bring a product from 0.5 to 1? And of course, we have our live smart contracts on Robson, and hope to bring it to mainnet maybe by end of the week. Of course, the next step will be product to market, and so public launch, but I think that will probably be next month at the very least. And yeah, this is a team if you're interested to speak to us, and thank you for your time.
Awesome. Thank you.
So I have just ping me, I'll be happy to send you some ETH later. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, very attractive offer. Teresa, let's begin the Q&A. Maybe with the judges in the auditorium first.
How do you measure the market in the demographic that you, so I don't trade cards. So how do you go about trying to measure that?
How do we go about measuring the market, right? Oh, like let's say
your target demographic, and you said you want to expand and move into other markets. So how are you trying to measure that? How would you forecast that?
I can be honest with you, I honestly have no idea. But what I say, I think it depends on what sort of market we're moving towards. So let's say now, for example, we're moving towards card NFT markets, right? Then from understanding, I do have a few friends on Twitter, etc., that play with these card games, and a lot of them actually use forums. And actually trading already happens, but it's via trusted members of the ecosystem. So then let's say I want to trade with him, right? And we don't know each other, right? And we're discussing on Discord or whatever. And then after that, we agree to trade, and we'll go to someone and say, hey, can you be an escrow for us? So we want to put that on the blockchain. And to answer your question, like in terms of measuring market, I think right now it's probably through forums as well as Twitter, of course, Discord, this sort of informal channels at the moment. Yeah, thank you for that.
When you say trading cards, physical cards included or only digital cards? And then just walk through this process again, like maybe go back to the slide, the customer journey of trading between one and the other.
Okay, sure. Maybe that was a bit too rushed. So while he's setting up the process, maybe we can set up to answer your question, I think physical cards, we want to stay away from that. Because the problem is that it's still very difficult for us to link the real world and NFTs, right? and we don't want to be a centralized entity, etc., etc. So we want to stay away from single cards at this particular point in time. Now we'll do a quick walkthrough of the user experience. So Marcus, maybe you're someone that wants to get maybe let's change up the color, right? You're someone that wants to get 2 blues. Are you able to show us the process?
Yep.
So he selected 2 blue from someone, and then he trades it for, let's say, one or 2 greens, and you click next. And then the confirmation screen, you can double check everything, 2 greens for 2 blue, correct? Confirm offer. And of course, you need to pay gas for the transaction.
So you're saying like crypto.com, they have those whole set of deck of cards on crypto.com. So let's say I wanted to get 2 kings and someone has 2 jacks. We could go to your platform and trade them as opposed to me having to buy one.
If someone listed it or if someone is willing to trade it, then for sure. I mean, the idea behind all this is that you have money Lego, right? So why not NFT Lego as well?
Maybe a bit more background info. We're actually using ERC level 55 contract for to enable batch transactions to reduce the gas fees also. And we also have this so let's say when someone buys a token from our explore page, right? And the receiving end will receive some Ethereum for it. So but we don't automatically transfer it to the account. It's available there for you to receive it so as to reduce gas fees, so you don't have to always pay the same one every time you sell. Because
So if you're going to trade like 10 cards with someone else, it's as if it's one transaction, but you're getting all the cards.
You can do it in a batch. Yeah.
Hi, can you go back to the previous page, please?
Which page, sorry?
The trading page.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
This one?
The one with a lot of cards.
I think it's the explore page.
Okay, so let's say I want to trade. Okay, so you press trade, go to the next page.
Oh, so sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say I want to trade you, right? Okay.
Yep.
I have 1 red for your 2 blacks. Yep. So when I trade the 1 red for your 2 blacks, you must also on your end say you want to
accept the offer. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we can quickly show you the accepting part.
Sure. Okay.
So maybe you go back to the other Chrome window one more time.
Yeah.
Is this accepting page ready or?
No, I'm submitting an
Okay,
offer.
so we submit a trade, 1 red for 2 blacks.
Okay, then
And then this is another Chrome profile right now, another address, and we should have it's
so
right here.
only here when the person receives the offer, you can choose to accept it, or you can just remove it.
So what happens after that? Like my red card goes to you?
Yeah. So
you don't transfer the 2 blacks to me, then what happens?
No, the token get transacted.
So actually, the end goal is to use that smart contract, an escrow smart contract, and then when I make what happens, when I say I want to give you 2 blacks for 1 red, I send my 2 blacks to the escrow, right? And then if they accept the offer, the escrow handles everything. So it's all coded, and we trust no one. So I can't say, hey, I take a red, I'm not going to give you your 2 black cards. I wish, we could do that, but we can't. Yeah.
And during this time, if the 2 blacks rise double in value, then what happens?
Okay, that's a very good point. I don't think we thought of it that far. My initial thoughts may be something like you're able to set a timer on the trade, let's say 1 hour, 1 day. But I think other than that, we are still unsure of how to answer that problem.
Yeah, but actually the tokens, right? If you're talking about value, like let's say on the market it's selling for twice the price today, it wouldn't really matter because you're trading the token itself. So like you wouldn't see the difference in the value, maybe unless you sell it for actual tokens. But yeah.
You're getting into a more complex smart contract. Where will you go to check the cybersecurity controls on it and the quality, like an audit?
Pass it on to Marcus.
Sorry, can you repeat the question? Cybersecurity.
Since your smart contract is getting more complex,
yeah,
how are you going to get it audited or make sure that it's more secure?
So currently we have sort of automated testing, but it's quite preliminary. In the future, we'll definitely spend a lot more time checking a lot of edge cases that I mean, this process can be automated if we can think of all the different edge cases. Yeah.
Just encourage you to visit the cybersecurity consortium here on campus with your
Okay.
idea, all right?
Nice. Okay.
Okay, awesome. That's all the time that we have for Q&A. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, the next thing we have, awesome, we got, I think about 2 more things left. The next thing we have is monkey.jpg. He's coming up on stage.
Yes. Good afternoon. Hello, we are monkey.jpg and I'm Brian. With me here, we have Winsing Nobel, and online I have Ryan and Elijah as well. So today we'll be presenting about our solution on tackling the problem of wash trading. Next slide, please. This is what we'll be covering. Next slide. So what is the current problem with NFT trading? Next slide, please. Wash trading is a vast problem in the NFT marketplace, and it basically occurs when multiple NFT holders collaborate to artificially create higher transaction prices. And this is an increasingly prevalent problem as shown above, right? We have, is it increasingly prevalent because there are negligible fees on Polygon, and there are increasingly more small new NFT projects having less historical data to work off. And it's essential to solve this problem in order to align with the aims of responsible innovations that safeguard consumers and investors by the US House Committee on Financial Services. If you can enforce trust in places where it doesn't exist, but kind of enforce it automatically or algorithmically, then more people will be inclined to utilize the blockchain. And this is what we aim to do in order to push for the adoption of NFTs. However, it is believed that most collision sets remain undetected due to the large size and complexity of trading databases. Hence, this is why we have decided to embark on this project. Victims are largely uncognizant of the fact that they are being victimized. Hence, regulators will also find difficulties in obtaining information during the investigation. So, how are we going to help consumers elevate fear, certainty, and doubt during transactions? Well, this is where we introduce our solution, monkey.jpg protocol. We aim to facilitate decentralized detection via our two-pronged approach as shown. This will maintain the integrity of the marketplace through community efforts and analysis. Next slide. Here is how our protocol will help the respective stakeholders. Firstly, on the left, we have buyers. Buyers are less susceptible to extreme market manipulation pricing. With better information comes better decision-making available to all, and not just those who can pay. Marketplaces in general will be healthier with the volume of legitimate trades increasing as confidence increases in the marketplace. And lastly, the DAOs, which will be explained later by Winsing, just like how current crypto mining communities get paid for proof of work, our validators also get paid for helping to verify potential wash traded NFTs. This incentivizes users to actively expose fraudulent transactions. So now Winsing will share more about the validation aspect.
Okay, so how will our protocol look like for validators? Next. Basically, this is our bounty system, and on a marketplace, a bounty fee is charged for every NFT trade on top of existing and gas fees. So the bounty fee will be stored in the DAB treasury, and the DAB treasury is paid out at 2 different premiums executed by the smart contract, where tier 1 payout goes to the DAOs that successfully identify new wash trading transactions, and tier 2 payouts to the rest of the validators for their work. So our bounty system will serve as our protocol's competitive advantage in creating a bottom-up community enforcement approach, where self-interested users will naturally be incentivized to maintain the integrity of NFTs to deter widespread wash trading, even without a centralized regulator. And organic market prices will adjust accordingly after wash trading is flagged out. Next slide. Okay, so on the validators front, our consensus mechanism will label a transaction as previously wash traded when the number of DAVs validating it as suspicious exceeds 5% of the total volume traded of the NFT collection. And when this 5% criteria is met under phase Sagittarius 1.0, which we will elaborate later on our roadmap, the smart contract for payouts for the DAV treasury will be executed in the two-tiered structure as mentioned before. And we will elaborate about this along with our end vision of implementing a decentralized later on. So basically, for the next slide, we will cover the metrics for validators. So basically, we have these 5 main metrics. Next. So for the first one, it is no net change in market position. So the intuition behind this is that you will trace the movement of the cryptocurrency, for demo purposes is Ethereum or Ether, and you will identify it moving back to the original owner to classify it as a suspicious account. And eventually, you'll also be tracking the NFTs for such cases. So this can also possibly differ by a small margin. So the total value may not come back in whole, but there's like a margin that you account for. And for the second one, you'll also be using the metrics of ratio of trade partners to executed trades. So basically, accounts that have vastly more trades than trade partners will be deemed as more suspicious. And this metric is derived and proven by a research paper by the Technical University of Berlin on detecting and classifying wash trades. For our third one, on frequency and price, our third metric is frequency and price difference between each trade. So the intuition behind this is if price rises to your an unusual spike in it, in a short amount of time, you also classify it as SaaS. For the fourth metric, it is small trade size but total large value transacted. So for this, it is based on the Journal of Financial Economics volume 78 issue 1 and our wash trading research paper. So basically, for fake orders, they will feature small trade sizes but large total amounts. And for the values that we are expecting, it is non-round numbers because for round numbers, they generally are for authentic trades. Yeah, when traders use them. And for our last metric is the quasi-hidden Markov model. So basically for this model, it is something that you will look at into the future. So for the past few metrics that we have gone through, they are more retrospective in aspect. But as we move along and we launch it on the mainnet, this model will be used to help for online monitoring and real-time detection. And to add on, all of these metrics are more micro in scale. So we are like tracking the wallets and transactions. But on the whole, if you want to look at NFT collections and also the project, like let's say on the marketplace, whether there's prevalent wash trading, other metrics can also be added on by our validators, and they can also give us feedback to incorporate it into our model. Okay, so now Nobel will be going through the demo.
Thank you, Wen-Xing. Now I'll be quickly moving on to the demo we have built of our prototype. So as you can see, what we have built is firstly we have simulated the interface that the validators will go through. So we will firstly have the monkey analysis.js, which is what this simplistic HTML site is connected to. So this HTML site, what it will allow the code linked JavaScript code will do is firstly collect all the transaction data with regards to wallets or transactions from Web3. And next, you will run the localized analysis algorithms that we have built, right? And we have also deployed a Ethereum application on the testnet, which will allow the validators to submit and retrieve existing validations on their transactions, right? So this Ethereum application is live on the testnet, and we provide the address data. So moving back to the HTML file, so we can see that there are four main functions you can interact with the Ethereum application. Firstly, it's the two query transactions where you can simply input the identifier of the wallet or the transaction that you are interested in looking at the historical validation for, and you would simply get the evaluations from other validators, and you can also run the validation algorithm similarly by putting in the identifier and that will automatically pull down all of the data and update the records on the Ethereum application. Right. So as you can see, when you query the transaction, you can see the evaluation provided by the application, as well as the historical good counters and the suspicious counters by other validators. Right. Quickly moving to the mockups. So quickly moving to the mockups. Elijah, the slide. Right. So this is how once the marketplaces can interact and adopt this situation, they can provide the users with better information, such as these mockups. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Monkey.jpg. Now we can open up the floor to any questions. Any questions from online first?
Yes, thank you. Great presentation, lots of technical details. I wanted to understand more on the business side. Is your idea only limited to NFTs, or could it potentially be applied for, you know, new listed coins or ICOs, any projects, or is it strictly NFTs?
For our project, currently we are implementing it on the NFT marketplace, but because for the coins we are tracing it by the coins, like how cryptocurrency flows in the ecosystem. So yes, our project can be applied in other cases as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
So how do you plan to monetize this technology that you have developed? Is it gonna be offering as a SaaS, or are you gonna maybe make a token or into some sort of networks?
Okay, I think I'll take that. So currently our ambition of the monetization model would be to interact with NFT marketplaces such that we can include a additional bounty fee charged to NFT purchasers on every transaction. So we would take a portion of that, and a portion of it would be distributed to the validators for their hard work in validating these transactions. I think there are, of course, other models that we can potentially look at. For instance, looking at producing a new token that can be the reward for the validators, and of course us.
I'm going to put you on the spot. An investor wants to give you some money, and they say, well, listen, you have a nice application here for wash trade. Fraud algo, which was the previous team, had another kind of tool to make sure the NFT was legit. And earlier, North Hill, which was one of the other teams, had this platform like a tools where you can go and buy. They said, listen, I don't want to just invest in you. I want to invest in all three. Having seen the previous presentation, how would you feel about connecting with them, and how would you possibly make that connection work? I know it's a tough question. North Hill was the platform where programmers were able to buy, or people that wanted to put out NFTs could go to buy like tools and get it launched. And Fraud algo, of course, was the pictures, make sure the pictures were all.
All right, so I think firstly, I think I would like to point out where we are distinct from these other metrics. I think what the uniquely distinct metrics, the unique distinct way we have implemented our algorithm is that firstly, we are a community-based effort where the analysis is in a fully decentralized platform. I think, of course, there are many ways we can integrate with these existing platforms. So what we can do specifically for perhaps more sophisticated users or more professional users like developers is package together a software solution where they can provide their tools and their analytics, while we will provide them, for instance, priority access to the results they are looking for, or within the community system. What we can do is for these higher tier users, we can push the specific transactions, wallets, or NFTs that they are more interested in getting analytics in to a higher position in the queue, such that they can get validation from the community faster.
Any more questions from the floor?
You got time for one more. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome, we're down to our very last pitch before lunch break. Let's welcome Launchpad from SMU.
Test. Hello. Test. All right. I assume everyone is very hungry right now. Thankfully, this is our last pitch. So anyhow, the blockchain world is unfair, very, very unfair. If I am an artist or creator wanting to launch my own NFT collection, I will need to learn how to code and develop more smart contracts. Otherwise, I will spend countless of hours trying to mint my NFTs on the blockchain on marketplaces such as OpenSea one by one. Or maybe I could hire a smart contract developer. But do I really have the money? And can I really trust developers to deliver for me? So despite the bright future of NFTs, there is still a missing piece to mass adoption, and that is technological inclusion. Now, the high barrier to entry makes it very difficult for non-experts, NFT creators and artists to enter the NFT scene, which is a very big opportunity that they're missing out. Therefore, Launchpad aims to achieve technological inclusion by bridging the technical gap between blockchain and artists. Launchpad is an all-in-one NFT tooling solution that handles the generation of artworks, smart contract deployment, and the ability to launch your own minting deck for others to mint your NFTs. The core of Launchpad isn't our complex technology or our flashy UI that you see here. It is basically a cost-effective, abstract, and most importantly, codeless solution for anyone to launch your NFT collection today. The coolest part of them all is that the contract you put on Launchpad is actually owned and created by you. And it's not owned by some other third-party minting contract, such as OpenSea or Rarible. As such, Launchpad makes it very easy for anyone here to launch their NFT collection while retaining full ownership and provenance over your artwork by providing an extensible framework to create and deliver a delightful, unique experience for everyone. So now let us take a look at how easy it is for us to generate our own NFT collection. Over to you guys.
Okay, now let us walk through the demo for Launchpad. I want all of you here to imagine yourself as an artist. You have designed layers of images and wish to combine them to create a generative NFT art collection. Afterwards, you want the public to be able to access and purchase your NFTs directly from your very own smart contract on Icon Network. So first, we access the landing page for Launchpad. We will have to sign in via our IconX wallet to continue. Once logged in, we will be redirected to the home page, which will display all the NFT collections via aka the smart contracts deployed previously. Since this is a new account, we will not be able to see any collection. Now, in order to merge our images and create a generative art, let us click on Generate button on the right side to access the generation service. In this page, we will be able to create the number of layers we require. Example, the face, eyes, and mouth. I have prepared a few layers of images, so let us first take a look at what we have. We have 4 layers: the face, the eyes, the mouth, and the petals. Now going back to Launchpad, we will need to create another layer called petals and upload all the images belonging to that layer. At the bottom, we have a section where we can preview a sample of how our NFT looks like. So we will demo to you how we can upload our images to a particular layer, which is the petals in this case. Now at the bottom, we can see a preview where we can see a sample of how our NFT will look like by rearranging the layers based on your faces or your accessories, your face, eyes, mouth, or the petals itself. Next, we can proceed to configure the rarity of each image within each layer to control which element will appear more commonly or which will appear more rarely. Once we're done with the configuration, we will fill in our project details, which includes the project name and description, and proceed to generate our collection. With this pop-up, we can configure the position of each layer based on the X and Y axis. Once confirmed, we state the number of NFT image we want to generate. Yesterday, we did a stress test and generated 7,000 images in 4 minutes. But for today, in the interest of time, let us just generate 100 images. Once completed, we will download the generated files, and within this zip file, it contains 2 folders. First being the image folder, which contains all the generated NFT image, and the second being the metadata folder, which contains all the relevant information associated with the image. Now that we have created our generative art collection, it is time for us to launch this collection. To start, we will select our new collection and specify the name and ticker sign for our collection. Once created, we'll have to select on the newly created collection to access the file page, where we will be able to upload the NFT images as well as the metadata file that was generated previously. This process will take a couple of seconds to a minute, so let's give it some time. As we are uploading about 100 photos at once to IPFS itself. Okay, once uploaded, we will be redirected to the launch page. But first, let's go back to the file page to have a view of all the 100 images that was generated and launched, that was generated and uploaded. So this is the display of all the 100 images that we managed to upload. Now, go back to the launch page, where we will be able to create our very own minting decentralized application, also known as DApp. We will state our collection name, mean price per NFT, and also a collection cover. We can also configure features such as setting a countdown launch time, or whitelisting wallet addresses to authorize minting. For this demo, we will not set any of this and will allow all public users to access our DApp. Now let's click on Publish to IPFS to launch our DApp. A public website will be generated, which will showcase our DApp, which we have configured in the previous step. It is up to us, the artists, on how should we market this link to the public. We can promote our NFT collection on social media and distribute this particular link on it, where interested buyers can access and mint an NFT from our collection. In a scenario where the artist wants to mint their collection wants to mint their entire collection, instead of minting one NFT at a time and repeating it over and over again, Launchpad is capable of bulk minting the entire collection at a time by maxing out the entire supply of it. Now, Justin, let's pretend that you are an interested buyer and you have entered to this website. You have connected your wallet and is ready to purchase some NFT from your collection. Tell me, how many NFTs do you want to mint?
Shall we do 10?
Okay. Justin will specify the number of NFT we wish to mint, then proceed to click on mint to purchase it. Once minting transaction has been completed, he will be redirected to a gallery page where he can view all the NFTs that now belongs to him. And with that, we have come to the end of our demo, and let me pass it back to Justin for a closure.
All right, so just to wrap up, we believe that Launchpad is a must-have bet for any blockchain ecosystem because of its availability as an easy-to-use NFT tool that will attract new users to the blockchain. We also think that by laser focusing on good user experience will definitely enhance the attractiveness of any given blockchain. Now, combined with higher users and more traffic on a blockchain, this will definitely invite more greater value to the blockchain and delivering superior economic value to the blockchain. So the question is, are you ready to join us at Launchpad as we aim to empower all artists and creators by leveling the playing field? Join us at Launchpad today. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Launchpad. I invite you then to deliver the stage for your Q&A segment. Any questions from the floor first?
Nice. First question is, how do you defend against copycats? Like if I have another launch pool or something with like more body parts, you know.
To clarify your questions, a similar application or like
yeah, similar application. So a competitor. Yeah.
Actually, we don't mind anyone out there to copy our model because at the end of the day, we really want to integrate with existing marketplaces. We also believe that the blockchain isn't a industry where it's owned by a single application. It isn't a one size fits all. It isn't a one winner takes all. So as much as we try to integrate with many blockchains, there are certain blockchains out there will have a similar model out there that may copy us. But at the end of the day, we really want to integrate with existing marketplaces because our solution allows batch minting, unlike OpenSea and other marketplaces that only allows single minting. So ours is really a plug and play into existing marketplaces, and we are not really afraid of the competition. In fact, we would love to collaborate with other copycats, if you say so. That.
Glad to hear you wanted to do collaboration. That's so important in fintech, and there's so many different ways to go. Just curious, so you've got a flower. If I give you a picture, will I be able to have similar controls like a picture of a car, but higher resolution, not just this low?
Yep, it will work.
Any kind of images, when you layer it, it will generate it for you accordingly.
As long as you have all the different layers, we will merge it. Yeah.
What about the resolution? Can it be a higher resolution picture?
Can be a higher resolution, but uploading will be slower because we're using in our target rate.
The key is that then you make it easier for someone who's not so into doing all the rest of the thing, the contract, everything else. You get this all done.
Yep. It's exactly like Wix, where we enable users to just plug and play, create their own website. It's almost the same thing.
Said that they own the contract. Do they also get to change the terms of the contract in a sense? Like they wanted to change how the royalties are paid, what wallets it gets to, etc.
There will be options for them to adjust the royalties for second users, so they can actually take advantage of the pros of having an individual contract like that.
Very interesting. Great project.
I think we've got time for one more question if anyone has on the floor. No? Awesome. Okay, thank you so much for all 10 teams. Thank you, Launchpad. And a very good job to all 10 teams. You guys have not only done an amazing job over the past 15 days, but you guys are still the top 10 teams over 100 teams in this hackathon. So very good job coming all the way to the finale thus far. So right now we're going to be breaking for lunch. Lunch will be in 90 minutes. But before that, let me share with you what's happening for the day.
Do exit from the same exit. If you came from upstairs, do leave right there. Came from here, do leave right here. There'll be people in the NUS Fintech shirts that will be assisting you. So if you see benches with the goodie bag, white color goodie bag with the NUS Fintech logo, right? This table is reserved for you. So just sit there first. Food will be given to you. So just hanging tight there and just chat and just be patient with our team here. It's going to be bringing you the bento boxes. Okay, so just don't forget to just stay for 5. Also, I think during this time, the judges, we have allocated a seat for you so that you can discuss with our online judge as well over lunch also. Besides that, we have reserved tables of level 1, level 2, and level 3. I encourage our NUS friends to head up to level 3 because you guys are more familiar with the space, and we'll leave level 2 for our friends in NTU and SMU. If you need any assistance to get drinks from the canteen and you can't access it, you're not from NUS, look out for our friends in the NUS Fintech Lunch shirt. They'll be able to assist you in buying your drinks. And do look for them in the shirt. They will be roaming around to assist you. Without further ado, I think I'll usher you guys out row by row, starting with the judges first. Perhaps you can follow my colleague James out to this allocated seat where you can do your deliberation over lunch as well. Thank you, judges. And then also maybe I can usher this. Do you guys have a yeah, so the people going to the 1 second. Okay, Mr. Janowski, do you have something to say?
Yes, great. Can you guys hear me? 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Great. All right. So congratulations to Send Brock to Jail. The team has, successfully combined concepts from finance and blockchain to reduce risks and entry barriers for anyone interested in investing in NFTs, as well as those interested to buy and sell NFTs from the secondary market. And that was achieved by fractionalizing the NFTs and launching, like e-NFT for the buyers. So I really like this idea. I think there are a few areas where you guys can focus on to address some maybe gaps over there, but I'm really excited about this idea and how you can bring the financial concepts into the NFT world and enable access to the larger base to buy and invest in NFTs. So congratulations and well done.
Thank you. Congratulations. Okay, you want to take a team photo with the certificate? Okay, the background is loaded. Okay, small for a photographer. Awesome, congratulations. Congratulations, Send Brock to Joe, and thank you, Mr. Janowski, as well. Okay, the next award goes to Best Business Case, awarded to the project that explains the problem, identifies all possible solutions, and assists decision makers. And this one goes to Nom Nom. Congratulations. Yeah.
Right, come on. Just okay. Okay. So from the judges, we chose Nono as the best business case for several reasons, right? So for those of us who are in the industry, we look at it from a industry investor's perspective. How can we scale this as a business? So food definitely has its applications, right? So of course, earlier on in the presentation, I mentioned that it's a lot of work just to eat like some gyoza or ramen. However, I think there are a lot of use cases, right? Like maybe like Michelin-star restaurants, and a lot of us were thinking beyond food, right? So what you have presented could scale to other industries and verticals. So which is why the judges, right, were looking at, wow, this is clearly best business. Easy. Yeah. Right. Good work, guys. Thanks.
Amazing. Thank you. Congratulations. Awesome. What do we have next? The next is the Subsidy Award for Easy Domain Application, awarded to the project that has the easiest implementation. And this one goes to none other than Super Idol. Congratulations, Super Idol.
Actually, I'll share a few comments on this. So we talked about this as a team. I think we have a tendency to overcomplicate projects sometimes. And so we thought that this was well deserved as far as implementation and just keeping it very straightforward and something that I think, a lot of people relate to. So well done. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, you guys can stay on stage because Judges Award goes to you guys as well. Super Idol, congratulations. This is awarded to the project that has impressed the judges in terms of visibility, innovation, and creativity. Congratulations, Super Idol, on your second award.
And just a few more comments. So on this category, because of the environment that we've all been living in for the last couple of years, we thought that there was something very worthy of virtual commemoration in sort of how broad that could appeal to a very large market. And so we thought that was absolutely worthy of judges' choice. So thank you guys, appreciate it.
Sure, maybe, okay, so right now we are giving away the Bybit prizes, so maybe I can usher you down on stage while we invite the Bybit judges to come up. Either one of these two prizes. Okay, the next award is the category under applicable for Bybit, which is awarded to the project that can benefit Bybit with high performance and secure capabilities. Okay, this one goes to Launchpad. Congratulations, can all come up. Okay, smile for the camera. Any comments for the team?
Yeah, sure. So actually at Bybit, we recently just launched our NFT marketplace. It's the first time that we as a centralized company to try this. When I look at this Launchpad project, I feel it's very interesting in the sense that it actually trying to solve the problem from the creator's perspective. Because many of the players on the market, they focus on the buyer's user experience. And the creator, they sometimes they got ignored. I think like there may be a possibility that we may, kind of incorporate the idea or the project into our own NFT marketplace as a second point to the creators. So that's my comments.
So this is your cue to send your CV to @ProductBilly on Twitter. Thank you so much. Thank you, Launchpad.
Email is also good. It's bill.xing@bybit.com. So also feel free to shoot me an email.
Awesome. Okay, we got one more award from Bybit, and this one is the category under BitDAO Worthy, awarded to the project that presented a fully decentralized application that can facilitate the development of an unstoppable economy. Sounds amazing. And this one goes to none other than Monkey.jpg. Congratulations! Woo, I'm so happy. You're like, yeah. You gotta be proud of yourself for 15 days of hard work. Amazing job. Congratulations, smile for the camera.
Okay, I'll say a few words for this. So BitDAO, if you Google, as of this morning, it's now the world's largest treasury. And of course, we were looking at like this project and the previous project. We felt that to Bybit, to BitDAO, there's definitely a lot of like potential that we can explore down the road. So wash trading, Bybit being a trading platform, and BitDAO being a treasury token, there's definitely a lot of synergy and potential going forward. Yeah, so well done, well deserved. All right, thank you.
Awesome. Okay, smile for the camera. Seems like these students don't really need to find a full-time job after this already. Your post-graduation plan settled today. So, up on here, you can help me with my with the next two subsidiary award. We have the best code design awarded to the project that developed the code for the future, and this one goes to Northfield Institute. All right, come on up.
So North Hill, I mean, I like this because if you're coming into this space, you need some help, you need some guidance, and their platform makes it easy to get in there. I loved like selling that coding application as an NFT. And I felt like a number of the projects, there's no one good idea. I hope that these projects come together and you guys look around the hallway and are like, hey, man, let's collaborate. Let us pulse your capability on the North Hill platform. Because I felt like that's what the play was. And it was nice seeing also your Polygon, your layer 2 work that you guys have already put in and such. And we all agreed your presentation was like, wow, you guys have put so much into it. Love the way you designed the slides. And also the energy you brought to the stage when you guys were talking. So beyond just best code, lots of different things, but best code for you. Well done.
Well done, well done. Okay, smile for the camera. Amazing. Now stay with me on stage because you guys also won public's favorite for getting the most amount of votes. So amazing job for one more award. Let's give you one more certificate.
Just add a few words here. Actually, recently, BitDAO just passed a vote to put $200 million into the ZK Sync DAO to actually sponsor all the development around the projects using ZK Sync technology. So I would definitely encourage you guys to explore the ZK Sync route to be able to see if it is possible to actually launch the project there on this new layer 2 solution.
Awesome. Now you're comfortable to all your voters to work on this project further, okay? No running away. Awesome. Thank you, Billy. Thank you to Northfield Institute. Now, can I invite Mr. Kirk Stokes up on stage to give out the rest of the prizes? Now we are down to the moment we've been waiting for, the second runner-up, first runner-up, as well as the champion of the NUS Fintech Month 2022 Blockchain Hackathon. Okay, we've got 3 awards, huge prize pool, big checks that you have to carry home, amazing stuff. Okay. So now this second runner-up for NUS Fintech Month 2022 Blockchain Hackathon is, drum rolls please. Nom Nom, congratulations! Where are you at? Come on down. Now I think they might change their answer from project only to an actual an actual live product. Amazing, thank you, Nom. Okay, now for the first runner-up of this hackathon is Team DeFi. Congratulations, coming up. Great job, great job.
Both of us will be there. Just like one more for life, but all three should be there for the first one. Oh, yeah.
Okay, small photo. Awesome, congratulations. Very exciting moment today. What a great weekend. Now, okay, so let us get more judges up on stage to take photos with our champion team. Any final thoughts before we announce the last winner?
Overall, it was really tough. We didn't get to eat lunch until late because of all the discussions we had trying to figure out which teams should be in the first three and the rest of the awards too. I think that we looked at teams that were coming with something that was pretty live. It was very useful. That the business case was compelling. That it was also you guys answered questions well when we asked. But then also, it looks like maybe you're open to collaboration. I think that in fintech, there's no way to do stuff by ourselves. And even BitDAO has given a big fund because they know that they can't do it by themselves. They're looking for all the minds like you. So I hope as we give this money out, that it does go to real serious impact into the fintech ecosystem. Not just here in Singapore, but globally, because all the projects that you have are around. So we're really excited to give this first place prize. Looking forward to keep in touch with all of you through this as well. But this is the team. Vanessa.
Okay, the champion for NUS Fintech Month 2022 Blockchain Hackathon is WinToken. Congratulations! Amazing job, guys. Woo. Come on up. Congratulations.
Come this way.
You can stand aside, you can't look at this.
There you go. Cameraman. Just think, is he getting cut off by the screen? No, he's okay.
Thank you, WinToken. Thank you, judges.
Yeah, I think we're interested to bring this MVP, to market. So I think right now we are doing a families and friends round. And if anyone here is interested in angel, we're looking for good market strategy as well as community building. If there's any angels or venture capital out here that are interested, feel free to reach out. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, WinToken. Awesome.
Opportunistic team. Awesome. Thank you so much, judges. Now, of course, I think the judges have spent a lot of time with us with very fruitful comments, a really keen eye for the different details inside the projects, and have spent the entire morning with us. So as a token of appreciation, the NUS Fintech Society has kindly prepared a token of appreciation in the form of NFT, of course, which we'll follow up with you guys after this hackathon. So I hope you like it. Now, it's photo taking time for everyone in the audience. I think the photographer will coordinate this so that we can capture everyone's amazing face in the audience today. So smile because we can see smiley eyes even above the mask. So maybe Terry can take it away and take some photos. Okay, so everybody, I know it's a bit small, so please do great expression so that we can see everybody. If you want to check, please raise it. Make sure you're not blocking anyone, but show off your certificates, show off your checks. So, okay, everyone ready? Oh, okay. So those at the very far corners, right? Maybe over here, please move to some of the empty rows and empty seats. In the middle, I think row number 5 has quite a few empty seats. Row 2 as well. Yeah, so just try to squeeze those people in the corners from FinTech Society. Please squeeze while we take a group photo. Okay, everyone settle down. I think just try to be, don't sit on the stickers. Okay. You can sit on my feet in front. Yeah. Okay, everyone ready? Big smiles, everybody.
Should be aerodynamic style, so I'll take up that. Right. So first.
Okay, sure. So left side first, okay, and then your hand across. Okay, big smiles, everyone.
This will be a best shot. That's a best shot.
Smile. Amazing. Thank you so much, Derek, for the photos. Thank you once again to all of you. Oh, one more time? Oh, one more time. Derek says one more time. Okay, this is a once in a year event. Let's not miss this opportunity. Amazing. Thank you, Derek. And thank you to all the participants for your hard work over the past 2 weeks. Thank you also to our supporting partners, Stella, Bybit, Ripple, NUS Fintech Lab, and of course, the organizing team, NUS Fintech Society, for putting together this event that promote further development in the next generation of decentralized applications, and also to encourage passionate individuals like all you students from NTU, NUS, and SMU to pursue your dreams in the NFT space further and to make bigger impact. Now, throughout this event, over the entire FinTech month, I think everyone has been very impressed with the school. So thank you so much for all the efforts. Now, before closing, we hope to see you guys next year in the hackathon. Do share with all your friends and in school to join us in next year's FinTech month as we bring you more exciting events. Thank you once again to the participants, judges, and the supporting organizing team. Thank you. For the one token, the winning team, the Japanese press would like to speak to you for an interview, so you can hang on around. And the rest of you, you can try not to cluster in groups, but you can carry on your conversations outside. Thank you so much, judges. Thank you so much, attendees and partners. Amazing job, everybody. Remember to leave from the same exit that you guys entered.